Kevin, are you using both hands? I'll deal with it later.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and genders all across the spectrum, to today's episode of JIVIN with Jack. We are talking about the Suicide Squad, and I'm assuming, I know, none of you have watched the Suicide Squad because you're waiting for my review. Let's get started right into it. This is my review of the Suicide Squad. It is without doubt one of the greatest films ever made. It has the best acting, casting, and challenges the soul. It is a film that will live in the annals of art. It is up there with the Mona Lisa, the Great Pyramid of Giza, Botticelli's greatest works. It is a craft. It is something that we should cherish as... Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, these are my notes for The Godfather. The 50th anniversary is coming up, and I took some notes. Suicide Squad's on the back. All right, here we go. I did not like this movie. It was torturous to watch. I hated the use of music. I thought the actors were okay. There was no character development. It sucked. I think the DCU is going in a bad... Oh, I'm sorry. So this is my review for Suicide Squad 2016. I haven't bought a notepad since I finished college, so I usually recycle the same paper. Here we go. The Suicide Squad. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I liked it a lot. It was better than Black Widow. Way better than Black Widow. It's not even in the same league as Black Widow. Black Widow is nothing. I wrote more about Black Widow here, but you got the idea. So, yes, go ahead and see it. And now that all of you have heard my positive review of the Suicide Squad, you can go watch it. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into the Suicide Squad indeed. But a lot of stuff happened. Look, last week we were going to talk about Governor Andrew Cuomo. And all of a sudden, he resigned today. Is it because of our show? Yes. Yes, it is because of our show. I'm not saying the whole team should take, credit for it, but I am. I mean, I'm kind of like a hero now, like Batman, except my parents are alive. In other news, is Marvel racist? Why did they take down Sam Wilson and replace it with Agent Carter? I don't know. We'll get into that. Plus, R. Kelly finally goes to court, and Britney Spears has become a Catholic, and she lost her conservatorship thingamabob. Well, we'll get into all that. Welcome, Britney, to the Catholic Church. It's torturous. It's very torturous. Run while you can. Run, Britney, run! But, alas, let's first talk about James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Did it falter? Did it not make as much money as it was supposed to? Is it overrated? Or did Warner Brothers actually pay off Rotten Tomatoes? To help me answer these questions, let me bring in my co-host, the man with the $1 million voice, Mr. Austin Lean, 316.
Thank you.
Hello, Austin. How are you?
Thank you, everyone. It's good to be back. Good to be here. What's up, Jack? Good to see you as always, my friend.
You got to see Suicide Squad like months ago. I only Friday night. I saw it in IMAX, and I'm glad I saw it in IMAX. I hadn't seen an IMAX movie since Endgame, I guess.
Whoa.
Joker. I saw Rise of Skywalker. I don't think I saw that in IMAX. I think I saw that in 2D. But I guess I hadn't been in IMAX since 2019. Maybe Far From Home I saw. Not Far From Home. Whatever the second one was called. Yeah,
Far From Home. Yeah, far.
I loved it. And speaking of Star Wars, we're gonna get into the Suicide Squad. I know you haven't talked about it yet. You or Ty, none of you have talked about it.
We've never talked. Can you believe that I have yet to give my thoughts on the Suicide Squad, Jack? Unbelievable, right?
Yes.
What's up, Live? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the chat. Nick Carr, good to see you.
And Life is back, man. I really missed him, man. I'm gonna be at Bonks tonight. And remember, if you stop by Bonks, I'll buy you a beer on behalf of Pop Culture Corner. So
buy a beer. I gotta get. Yeah. What'd you do by just fly into Bonks like one Thursday after the show? Like immediately after the show, you just see me at Bonks. I'm like, all right, I want my beer, and then I just leave. And that's it. You never see me again.
There we go. But you know what? I would thank you for coming. Just like I'm gonna thank our new subscribers. We have Black 316. I'm gonna think that M is silent. M. Layden Kulik, Andy R. Jacob Ludi, Dean Zapful. Oh my. 75, YBA, Coachella Coastal, Cade Forte, Kelsey Hogan, my girl, Andy Maz, Benson's, Tiz I Sri. Okay. Oh my God. Gotham NK, Peter Shihata, Anthony Grisby, Oh My DS22, and Brandon Lopez. Brandon, your name was the easiest one to say. Thank you. Welcome. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this show. There's been a lot of toxicity about the Suicide Squad. But before I get into that, I finally played Jedi Fallen Order. I started playing that this weekend, and I'm loving it. Have you ever played it?
You're playing what? I'm sorry. Say what?
Jedi Fallen Order. It came out like a year or two ago.
Oh, dude, yeah. I ripped through that thing.
It's a great Star Wars game, and I got it because it was on sale. It was only $15 on the PlayStation Network. Our friend Jack Pierre, thank you for alerting me to that sale. I bought it. I loved it. I haven't played it in 2 days since Sunday, but
how far are you into it?
He just learned how to throw and pull things.
Okay, it's been
yeah, I'm really early into it. Maybe not even 6 hours into it, but I'm having fun with it. So,
dude, I love Fallen Order, and let me tell you something. It gets into some really cool, deep lore. And oh man, there's I don't want to give anything away, but as you play and stuff, dude, you're gonna really there's some really cool Star Wars Easter eggs and throwbacks, and it's just a great game, and I know they're making a sequel too, and I know you have the PS5, I have the Series X, and it looks
I played on the PS5. Yeah, it looks great. I'm having fun. It's Star Warsy, but not it's not every 2 seconds they were referring to someone else, hey, whatever happened to Anakin Skywalker? None of that. It's its own self-contained story. I liked it. But I believe Caden is backstage. Caden, we're going to get into the Suicide Squad. So get your finger on that transition. Folks, I know this movie has generated a lot of anger. And when I see toxicity, I like to make it worse.
Right.
I try to build bridges. Why
I have to acknowledge this.
Yes.
Before we transition, I'll start the change.org or the petition.org or whatever thing for this. Dude, I remember playing Revenge of the Sith, the game, on the first Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Fire. Amazing. That was an amazing Star Wars game.
Yeah, I never played that one. Never played it.
It's so good.
I think one of the movie I think GTA San Andreas kind of came out at the same time or a few months earlier, and that's what I was playing.
That's what you were into,
Yeah, playing and replaying.
I was a child,
so
I wasn't my.
All right,
but anyways, the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. Caden. That button. There we go. Got to finish what I said. All right. Lots, and I mean a lot to say about this movie. I know you and Ty have talked about it, but there seems to be more controversy around the fandom. I know there was some stuff going on this weekend. I will just go out of the way and say this movie, I'm not going to say I was surprised. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I do not agree that it was an R-rated Guardians of the Galaxy movie. No. The characterization was different. The music was different. I thought we're going to hear a lot of 80s and 70s music. Very different use of music. Very different type of film than the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm only saying that because a lot of people said, I do not understand the criticism. Even if you didn't like it, I do not understand the criticisms that this is like a Marvel movie. I wish Marvel would make a movie like this. I wish the Marvel would push the edges outside of Hulu and Netflix. and tell some some edgy stories, but they're not going to. This was way better than Black Widow. I think Black Widow, this was like the anti-Black Widow. It was a movie that had heart and soul. I was actually impressed by some of the visuals and cinematography. It wasn't just like, a shaky cam for like 2 hours. It was actually, there's some really good, well-designed action sequences. Idris Elba was great. Every other character had their moment to shine. Every character had their moment to shine. Polka Dot Man, I did not know I would become a fan of Polka Dot Man. I did not know I'd become a fan of King Shark. I was like, oh, they're going to make him the dumb, cute one. It worked. I was sold. Harley was great. She's sort of like the biggest one out of this group. She had her moment to shine, but the movie was not about her in the same way that the first one was about her. And look, I have grown to love the theatrical cut. I don't love it, but I've grown to love it. I think this movie is something the DCEU needed. Let's ignore the Ayer cut and the Snyder cut stuff. We all want that too. But let's just judge this as a movie on its own. I enjoyed it. It was flashy. It was over the top. Some of the jokes didn't land for me that much. The thing that killed me was Milton. By the way, guys, start the hashtag Justice for Milton. Justice for Milton.
Did you see him at the premiere?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Picture of him at the premiere is hilarious.
Yeah. At first, you know what? I thought he was just like the driver, but he actually worked for the Gorillas. The Gorillas told him, spoiler, to meet Milton. Not really that much of a spoiler. To meet Milton, like, you'll go there. There's a guy named Milton. So he was a gorilla. He was a driver, but it wasn't like he was a random dude they found. So like he was part of that. Listen, I enjoyed this movie. If you hate this, if you didn't like this movie, that's okay. I've talked to people who aren't DCU fans who are casual. You know what? I kind of like the first one better. I was like, okay, cool. Props to you. They're like, I kind of enjoyed what it was. I'm not saying it's a good movie, but I kind of like the first one better. Give it to you. Yeah. But there's a lot of predisposition to hate this movie, which is unfortunate.
It's the worst thing I've ever I've been saying this on several shows over the past couple of days. This movie, I thought, and I think Austin and I both thought that this was going to be a huge win for just the DC brand. And
yeah, absolutely.
It ended up tearing us a little bit more apart in the sense that like people went in with this preconceived notion that it's not a Snyder film. And that's honestly, in my opinion, that they hate it simply because it has no ties to the Snyderverse. And that's not a reason to not like a movie. And we've seen other channels and stuff like that. Like you can just tell. And if you don't like it, I'd like to have a talk. Like I'd like to talk to you about, all right, listen, what didn't you like about it? What was it? This, that,
yeah,
that,
get into the specifics.
And have a healthy discussion. That's where I find the best content, right? And
you know what's funny? In some ways, my interpretation, I thought it very much was a sequel to the first one. There were some aspects, like the way they kind of do character development. They're like, oh, this is Polka Dot Man, and he tells his story. Oh, this is King Shark. This is his story. They kind of did in the first one, like, this is Katana, The way they use music, obviously, I think the music was used better here. But that sort of electric style, like, here's a different song, very different. And then random scenes, like the Harley Quinn hallway scene, without getting into spoilers. When you see all this, that seemed like something that might have been used in the first film. I thought this felt very connected to that world.
Yeah,
I wasn't like,
I did as well.
especially with Rick Flag and Boomerang in it. I was like,
starts off with that, like she, how she said, she's like, oh, she calls him. I think what does she call him? Boom. She calls him Harley to Boomerang. She's like,
Boomer,
hey,
Boomer.
Boomer. And you can tell that Harley, Rick, and Boomerang all know each other, and they have known each other. Like it may. And what I've been saying about the Suicide Squad is it can stand alone, but it also could connect to a larger universe if needed. But good movies, good film, if it's in a connected universe, they need to be able to stand on their own first. That's it. And tell a good story.
Exactly.
That's what it needs to do no matter what.
And right off the bat, there's a little nod when they're doing the intro. I'm not going to give away spoilers, but
we're going to watch
Amanda
it later.
Waller, we're going to go to, but just in case someone's watching, like, oh crap, I haven't seen it. I'm like, what are you doing? Where Amanda Waller says, you know the drill. And then she explains what the Suicide Squad is. We put this thing in your head. And it's essentially saying it to the audience. Like, we expect that you've seen that first movie. Right. Do you have to have seen the first movie? No. But I think it works better. And, there's a great moment earlier on the scene. I was like, what happened to Harley Quinn. She was just in Birds of Prey. And then just like a throwaway line, like, yeah, I had road rage in a bank, which means she crashed her car into a bank. I loved it. Like, she just somehow got arrested again. And again, this Harley Quinn felt like a continuation of the one we saw in Birds of Prey. She's not like, she's emancipated from the Joker. There's really no reference to the Joker, just like in Birds of Prey. She's her own woman, her own character. Let's get into spoilers here. Right from the back. So this is what I picked up. Waller, spoiler alert, set up Rick Flag to get killed, because when I watched the first time, she says, "I want to make you a leader to Bloodsport." I'm like, why? They already have a leader. She intentionally set Rick Flag to get killed at the beginning of the movie. How do we knew this? Because she purposely said that was a diversion. That scene with what's that guy for I hate him, the one who dated Ariana Grande. What's his name?
Pete Davidson. I love him.
Okay. As soon as he died, my reaction was, thank you, next. But he's like, guys, I'm the one who called you. And then you're thinking, like, did this dude betray the Suicide Squad? And I was like, no. He was told to let them know this was all Amanda's plan. I'm like, well, why kill Rick Flag? Why put Rick Flag on that beach?
Was he told? No,
he knew that Rick Flag would be the guy to keep.
Yeah, she wanted Peacemaker to take the drive and get out of there.
Yeah, so, and he knew that Rick Flag was not supposed to survive that.
She knew Rick Flag would give him trouble when it came to I didn't realize that you put the Suicide Squad above Man of Steel.
I did, and there is a reason for it, and we can get into it maybe a little bit later, but there is a reasoning for it. Maybe it was shock value, like just seeing it, and how it was fresh in my mind, because the way I was judging it, at least on this list, was rewatchability. And I think the Suicide Squad was above Man of Steel in that sense.
That's true. But that's a lot of movies. Like, I love like I mentioned, The Godfather. I love that movie. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. But it's not something I'm going to watch like every weekend. It's sort of like a fine wine and dinner that you save. But like Scarface is a movie that's a different type of gangster movie. But so there's a lot to talk about in this movie, because I was like, why does she need to make Bloodsport the hero or the leader? Because I do want to. Bloodsport would be the guy who would destroy the hard drive. She thought he was that type of guy. She misjudged him. That is what you call character development, folks.
Thank you.
Character development. That's his development, because he probably would have been the guy to destroy the hard drive, but he's not. You find out at the end that he is a hero, just like Sebastian the Rat protected. There's stuff you can. Oh, Nick, we love you, dude. Thank you so much. I already got mine, baby.
Who's your favorite member of the new squad?
The new squad. I gotta go with Polka Dot Man. By the way, that's his third time in a DC property. He was in The Dark Knight. He's the guy that Harvey Dent tortures,
if you watched my interview with the guy who doubled him, you'd find that out.
He's also in Gotham. He was in a couple of episodes, I think season 2 or 3, and he's
in The Flash.
He's in the Long Halloween part 1 and 2.
Like Calendar Man.
Oh my God,
he's been in literally and so many.
He's been in Marvel, the Ant-Man.
Yeah, Marvel.
I mean,
it wasn't.
The dude's
Guardians.
Basically in all the great comic book movies.
And he is so good. Again, you know what I liked about this? If this had been a Marvel movie, they would have made him the dummy. Guys, he's Polka Dot Man. Everyone laughed at that. They took the character seriously. And that's it wasn't like, hey guys, this guy's stupid. Maybe John Cena makes a joke. I call him Peacemaker. Like, what does he do? Throw polka dots? Oh, he does. Okay. And that's the end of it. This dude kind of has a small arc of his own. He's vulnerable and I'm kind of curious what his crime would have been. I don't know if
James
got into it.
He killed his mother.
He killed his mother.
Yeah,
so he's not a criminal. I mean, you can say he's a criminal, but his mother, we can tell, was a bad guy. But he was kind of abused. And at one point, it's called Norman Bates, which is a nice reference to someone else who's abused by his mother. I mean, there's a lot in this movie that kind of it's not it's sold to you as a dumb, fun movie in a good way. But there's actually layers to it.
For sure.
Yes.
Austin, who's your favorite character?
I think for me, I've seen the movie 3 times now.
And we're going to watch it again tonight at 8 and then have a nice discussion afterwards.
Join in on that.
Our international crowd who doesn't have HBO Max or doesn't have access to movie theaters. I know, like in India, a lot of countries, they don't have movie theaters open. Check us out tonight. We will be doing a private stream party.
Yes.
But
sorry, Austin. So I forget who you said already.
For me, it was King Shark. I go with King. I love.
Oh, you didn't
King
say that. Okay.
Shark.
King Shark was dope, dude. Dope.
I just look. I know. You know, and like Elife mentioned, right? One of the things is he didn't like that it was dumb, and I get that. There's been a bunch of different iterations of that character. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels like, you know, there's the one on Harley Quinn show is like super.
I thought
super
this one
smart.
was a nod to that one.
It was a bit. It felt like a nod right to that one. This was definitely dumbed down, but I liked it. I didn't have a complaint about it. I thought he was, you know. I thought he was, you know, like
he reminded me terrified, a little bit of the Hulk in Ragnarok. Like the way he said "friend," like "friend, I have new dumb friends." It kind of reminded me a little bit of Thor, the Hulk in Thor Ragnarok. Like "friend, stay." Like I was okay with that. Like you know,
Sylvester Stallone as King Shark was amazing.
Yeah, that was some of the best casting. One of the best casting choices.
Like this whole movie was perfectly casted, even though like we know that Dave Bautista was supposed to be Peacemaker. I think he was good to choose to do Army of the Dead and go with the recast of John Cena as
it works
Peacemaker.
And I said this, and Peacemaker is supposed to be this uber patriotic person. That's kind of John Cena's wrestling character. He comes in, he salutes, he's for the troops. He's that kind of like Hulk Hogan, kind of like America.
I don't think Dave Bautista would have been a good Peacemaker, honestly.
No, same.
Now
that's
seeing
why
the
I'm glad.
And how it turned out, I really couldn't see Dave as that person.
No.
Caden, who was your favorite character?
For me, it was Ratcatcher too. She has she has a tragic backstory.
Taika Waititi shows up in this.
Yeah, it's like this father-daughter like relationship that she has with Bloodsport as well, and also like kind of like making sure that he goes back to his daughter, even though he and his daughter don't have a best relationship. Ratcatcher sees that as like a way to mend that relationship right like after to make sure he comes out alive.
A point about Bloodsport. I am convinced, even if they deny it, that was supposed to be Deadshot. There's a couple of reasons. Not only the father.
He's the opposite. He's the complete opposite.
Here's what I think. The whole father-daughter thing was a little bit too similar. There's a moment, and I know that where they said, "You Americans, you always shoot before you think." And I was waiting for him to say, like, "I'm not American, love." But I was like, what if that line was written when it was still Will Smith? I don't know. But there was, I mean, I'm almost 100% certain that James would have loved to have Will back. Because that would have come back with that would have drove the box office on this way up. Yeah. And he could still come back for the third one.
For continuity wise, it would have worked well too to explore Harley and Deadshot's relationship further. I really do, you know, I'm and that's for me, that's why Bloodshot was my favorite. Well, Ratcatcher 2 is my favorite character, but Caden already said it, so I got to change. Bloodsport, I thought, was done very well in the sense that they had to kind of figure out a way to bring someone like that in again. And they, instead of recasting, which frankly, some directors probably would have recast Deadshot. I'm glad they went with Bloodsport instead.
Yeah.
Now we could have a future sequel that we see Deadshot and Bloodsport, or maybe Deadshot back for Justice League 2 or 3 if Zack ever comes back, like the panel.
The storyboards.
So, also, what I thought was interesting about the movie. Let's answer Benson's question real quick. Benson, I want to get to the box office definitely. Many reasons for the Suicide box office figures. HBO Max numbers are superb for Suicide Squad. Let's not forget. Failing Jay didn't even watch it before commenting. That is part of the reason. A lot of people say, well, how come Black Widow did so well? Well, there's other factors too. Well, Black Widow was $30 to watch, and a lot of fans were like, screw it, we'll just go see it in the theater. I mean, a lot of fans
cheaper to go see it in theater if you were like a single.
Right.
Yeah, there's
there's so many reasons as to, and then it's funny. I saw a tweet that was like, oh, well, look, the box office numbers for, you know, Godzilla versus Kong, Black Widow, and all that, you know, it's not near as bad. Well, yeah, first of all, that was over a month ago. Watch the news. Get out from under your rock and watch the news. Things have gotten worse, unfortunately. Yeah. People are now at a point where it's not where we were at a month ago. It's not. Yeah, and honestly, from now on, the box office is like things have changed, and we all have to start learning to figure out what that means. But it doesn't mean that the movie's a failure, because guess what? Guess which Suicide Squad is going to get a direct sequel?
This one. And real quick, I want to get to the box office stuff, but you talk about like subverting expectations. I was thinking to myself, there's so many characters in this movie. And then here comes the intro. They introduce us to Michael Rooker's character. What's his name? The guy with the ball?
Savant.
Savant, yeah.
Savant.
And then just effing kills all of them with the exception of Harley and Rick Flag right off the bat.
Right.
Except Weasel, who turns out is alive. And I'm like,
that was great.
Love that.
The Weasel thing was
support your local guys.
Thank you, Nick, for another 5.
Funny thing is about Savant is that he's a Birds of Prey villain, and the bird that he killed in the beginning was a canary. And what I think is, what if he killed Diana Drake, the first Black Canary?
Maybe. See, that's how they connect to Birds of Prey, another movie that I think gets crapped on.
Did you guys think the gore was good? Like, not the gore, but did you guys think that there was a healthy mix?
I thought it would be. I knew it was going to be over the top and cartoony, so I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know. Like, well, I mean, it was pretty bloody, but I didn't think it was that. Like, I knew. I was like, okay, this is R-rated James Gunn. It's going to be. Now, if you've seen the first Suicide Squad, not too familiar with James Gunn's work outside of Guardians, you might be like, oh, this will be like a wholesome movie, and then you're like, oh my God, he just ate a dude's head.
Well, like in terms, I really don't think they marketed this movie like as well as they should have.
I think that's
like they did it good in the beginning, but then near the middle and end, they were just like, yeah, here's some trailers, here's some TV spots, here's some posters.
Here it is. Don't forget, 2016 Suicide Squad had a marketing budget of $385 million. The movie cost $186 million and generated $746. So that leaves $216 million. Take out cinema cuts and star numbers, yada yada. Not much left. I wonder. I really do wonder what this new Suicide Squad spent on marketing.
It's $100 million.
How much?
$100 million.
Really? Because I would say it was not well spent.
Again,
outside of the comic book verse, the regular people I've met all across the city, Philadelphia is a good city because it's the 5th largest city in America. No one knows about this movie, or no one cares.
And also
Suicide Squad, they're like, oh man, that movie sucked. I'm like, no. I felt like I was explaining the Snyder Cut all over again. I'm like, no, this is a different movie. This is not that movie.
Sequel.
I'm like, the guy made Guardians.
You're like, okay. And this is a different director. And also, what I was doing, the
effect of that first film is really bad. I hate to say, to the point where I think a lot of people would normally have given this movie a shot, either on HBO Max or in theaters, are just refusing. I'm talking about general audiences, not the comic book film. Because they're like, oh yeah, Suicide Squad, that sucks. Same thing I saw with Justice League. People were like, oh, there's a 4-hour version. I'm like, no, dude, it's a different movie. They're like, yeah, okay. It just doesn't resonate.
And also, like with the whole box office stuff, you have to also take in the numbers that that they recently released for HBO Max, and those numbers are they still count.
Did they release numbers?
It was the second highest premiere of like 2.6 million people watched on like the opening weekend on HBO Max. And so that means that 2.6 million times $15, it adds to the box office because those are the people that are paying for that month to watch.
That would be true if all those 2.1 million people only got it for this. Chances are a lot of people who watched it on HBO Max already had HBO Max.
They're not saying it's an addition of subscribers or anything, but they are saying the views.
They're saying the views and like the monthly people that are paying monthly. There's I think they were saying there was like 10% of those people. Higher. I think they said that 10% of those 2.6 was like
first
new
weekend
people.
You thought the HBO number would be higher?
I thought it'd be higher. Yeah.
Well, we don't know. That's the thing. Like we have to remember is what is deemed successful. Or what is a box off, like a success in terms of money is changing so rapidly that it's hard to keep up with. And we're not gonna. The more this pushes into streaming, the more we go that way. What is deemed successful is really going to be up to us talking about it and who and
it's about critics. It's about how well critically it's well received. If it's about it's about critics and views.
Right, and that's what it's going to come down to is analytics and that, and not money, because the money's already there. right? The money's
Yeah.
already being put there. Now we just have to judge it analytically and by the scores. And I don't know if
And
I
even,
would,
like,
I would
people
even
are-
say, I would
people are
even say that
expecting-
if this doesn't make too much money at the box office and doesn't have the numbers HBO Max want, it's still a success, because there's another way to gauge this, and that is to see how this movie does over time. Shazam has gotten more popular with time, and I guarantee you Shazam 2 will be big. If given time, the general audiences see this movie over the course of the next year or two, it definitely will build up hype, word of mouth. I think it's also good for the Snyder Cut movement, that as time goes on, more people who were not going to watch it will at some point see the Snyder Cut, and they'll be like, damn, that was pretty good. Let's get let it. It's sort of like tea. You have to kind of let it drip. You kind of have to let it seep into society. Yes, us, the hardcore fans.
like Alfred in Justice League, you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
And
let
like,
it seep.
So also,
movies like The Shining, movies like Scarface were not popular when they came out, but now they're considered like some of the best movies of the 80s, if not of all time, because it took time for people to watch it. It took time, and now you get like a new edition every 2 years, like, oh, the new Scarface 4K with new commentary, like, you know.
Yeah, and also with the whole 2.6 million, like I think I remember seeing a list of the top 5 of this year, and Snyder Cut was the number 5.
Yeah,
it was 3 below under.
But you know what's funny?
But again, it's it's
what's
been so long.
There's some things, some like diehard Snyder fans that are just out there. I'm sorry, they're just delusional at this point. They're just delusional because they're making shit up because I saw a tweet today. Somebody was like, it beat Endgame. Zack Snyder's Justice League beat Endgame. Shut up.
Wait, how?
Shut up. You're delusional.
How can you?
Wait,
just
because
you like the movie doesn't mean it went like. All of a sudden, the Snyder fans went from since it's a great movie, it beat out every movie of all time. It's the most successful movie ever made.
You can't compare them at this point.
What's he saying? Like in box office or
you
like
can't
revenue?
Compare them at this point because Snyder Cut went full streaming, whereas Endgame had a box office that literally stomped.
It's the highest of all time. I mean, now
stomped every movie that's ever been made. So
it did in China.
And
no, it didn't beat Snyder Cut, Adam.
No, it didn't.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it did.
Yes. In terms of views?
Yeah.
Is that what they're saying?
In terms of views, yeah. So TS, like I said, 2.6 million, and then
I don't trust that Sabo.
Not only that,
that's not
it's not Sabo. Numbers coming out of China.
It was actually HBO Max that actually released these numbers. It was like Peter Safran or some person from like actually said this, and they like released a list, and that it was Mortal Kombat was number 1. It was the Suicide Squad number 2. Godzilla vs. Kong was number 3, and I forget what the Little Things was number 4, and then number 5 was Snyder Cut.
I can't believe Mortal Kombat, and you know what? It's got to be the IP. Like the the known, everyone knows Mortal Kombat, but in reality, that movie, I mean, I liked it because it was just like a turn your head off kind of whatever movie, but it's not better in quality than even Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah. And definitely not
Godzilla vs. Kong. They were like just the 2 fight scenes is what I cared about. Everything.
That's really it, right? And
when they go into the Hollow Earth,
that was the best. God. I would have loved
like that. I was like,
what
the hell is this movie doing?
It was just cool looking.
It was cool looking. I was like, all right.
But it did take a weird turn, like a mystical turn where I was like, all right. And
by the way, Corto Maltese. I kept thinking to myself,
it's off the coast of South Africa.
It's supposed to be. But then I remember wherever I heard it, and I looked it up. It's in DC, but then I forgot that they mentioned Corto Maltese a bunch of times.
Yes.
In the Michael Keaton movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like, and
it's a well-known
photos. And I was like, okay.
It's basically
where have I heard that before?
Yeah. Corto Maltese is like in different iterations. There's one iteration where it's like Jotunheim, like the whole island's like Jotunheim, where it's full of experiments.
Yeah, I got a very Cuba feel from the island.
Yeah, I think even like Mutant Leader comes from Corto Maltese in one run of the comics where he's like, and then like stuff like that. So it's very well known.
One scene I liked a lot. It reminded me of Hobbs and Shaw. Is when they arrive
Hobbs
at the
and
Gorilla
Slaw.
Hobbs and Shaw, where Bloodsport and Peacemaker, they're trying to rescue Rick Flag, not knowing that he's all right.
Oh yeah, that was
And they're
dope.
alphaing each other. Remind me of the scene in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Like they're
Oh my
both in
God, I
this like
love that
hallway,
scene.
and they're both like, and then he does this. When Peacemaker did this gesture, I died laughing. I was like, I wasn't expecting
That scene was amazing, and it was
And
just
then
like
he
it was,
sliced when he stabs the dude, is lying down, like chop, chop.
What does he say? He's like,
Someone likes to show off.
yeah, and then
no
he's
one
like,
wants to show up.
unless
He's
you're
like,
showing
unless
off.
you're showing off his dope as
It's
fuck.
dope.
That was really good. But
And then
Dude,
it's like
Cena's
he's like,
dance
that's
moves,
true.
I mean, come on. He's got like the polo on. He looks like every kid who went to like a prep school has a polo on dancing. Like, you know.
The funny thing is, he was dancing like a
I'm
bird.
wearing a polo.
He was dancing like a bird. Almost.
Prakash, if you want to come watch the movie with us later,
Watch the movie with us.
We're doing it. We're mostly doing it for the international audience that wasn't able to, and then we're gonna have a discussion after. So I'm doing it specifically for guys like you.
Yeah.
So definitely come join us. But listen, overall, I think this movie was fun to watch. I think it was a good story.
Yeah.
And it didn't try to connect to a larger universe.
That's
It didn't
Someone
like
was
it didn't
saying,
reach.
it didn't connect,
yeah.
and therefore it's not a good movie. I'm like, huh?
That's not.
But
remember back in the day when things didn't connect, and we just got you were lucky if you got a sequel.
Yeah. Small thing. This is the only scene in the theater that I laughed at. No one else laughed at. Remember when Peacemaker, Bloodsport, and who's the third one? They're captured and they're like being taken away after the dance club.
Oh, Rick Flag.
Rick Flag, yeah. And they break out, and Cena's got his arm on the passenger and just keeps smacking his head.
Yes.
And it cuts away, smacking his head. Cuts away, another action, smacking his head for like a full minute. I was dying laughing, and no one else thought that was funny in the theater. I was just like, you just see like huge arm, like big veiny up,
Right.
I like Nicotina. He's my favorite YouTuber.
We're gonna side
man. Austin needs to be taken down a peg or two.
Yeah, we needed honestly, Austin was getting too egotistic, and we sent them over there to get knocked down a couple pegs and remind him who he is.
Nicotina's always welcome.
That's right.
I enjoyed that. I know it was kind of like a slobber knocker, but I like a good Donnybrook. It's all I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And like,
if you want to hear like my true thoughts, you can go over to Jarbo's stream from Sunday night, and you'll get my true thoughts. Listen, say what you want about me, but don't come after the other three, because then we're just gonna have a problem. And we don't want to promote that kind of stuff. Like this whole movement, the Snyder Cut movement, everything. Right? We're supposed to be us united. Right? Yeah. We're supposed to be have a common goal and a common thing to do. Yet people that do that kind of stuff are only spreading us more apart in order to gain super chats and money. And I don't respect it. Simple.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to change my entire plan for this show after.
And I will say, like, so I don't know what it is. I don't know what.
Listen, I was being facetious. I wasn't being serious there. I was.
That's the thing is everyone can to each their own, and it's over. And I wish them success. I really do. I wish everyone success, and I just wish it went different. I really did. I wish like this, right?
I
We're
like
just
Nick
talking.
too. 187 is saying like Nick is my guy. We have nothing personal. Personal like against him.
Yeah.
I just, we just gotta.
I think Austin needed a haircut anyway.
Yeah, right. He needed to get spiked. Like I said, we needed to get spiked down.
Yeah,
he was getting way too out of the park, and
he was thinking of taking control of this whole thing, and I was like, hey, we should throw him to the hyenas.
I needed it. I'm joking. But no,
anyway,
no. I do want to say
it could have been more balanced because I felt like it was you against the world a little bit, and I was like, you should have someone you Austin, if only you someone who interrupts a lot and speaks his mind. You'd have to find someone like that. That's right, Caden.
No, look. I'll say this, right? Look, I have no issue like you watch both channels. Like we're not the type of people that's like watch us or watch them or don't want no. Like watch things, form your own opinions. We have our own opinions, and we've made it clear. I will say again, I don't know what it is or what's happened, but it just feels like the whole like Snyder fandom has just turned into this beast that
I just want to address Prakash real quick. And Prakash, please stay. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Again, we're not trying to force you to watch it, and you shouldn't let a movie affect you that much. I'm guilty of it too. When I've seen a certain movie, I'm like, oh man. But like, you know, we try to keep it fun here. If you don't want to see it, don't watch it. It's there for you. That's what we're here for, to help connect you to this pop culture world. Yes. I recommend giving it a shot. You might have, and you can hate it, keep hating it. Like, that's okay. You're allowed to not like this movie. But like, don't let it affect your mental well-being. You know?
Yeah.
That's what Austin does.
Yeah.
I mean, no, sorry.
No.
Yeah. Sorry. Now we're
Austin,
all
you
picking
aged
on
a lot
Austin.
the last 3 days. You look older than I do.
Dude, you should see if I take off the hat. I'm
There's a bunch of gray,
gray head. Yeah.
And Benson,
it's like it has a gray streak, like a Jason Todd gray streak.
Yeah. And
Right.
Benson, thank you, man. That's what we try to do here is promote. Be open to all opinions. And yes,
Benson,
I was on Jarbo's
shows like like February, March. We were simping for Zach, and we still are.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing now too, is because we're saying so, or I feel like because I'm saying things I like about the Suicide Squad or whatever. It's like people have already predetermined that I'm no longer a Snyder fan. I'm now like. And that's not the case, at all. That's not the case at all.
The thing about Ill Life is that Andre says that he doesn't have any ill intent, but it turned into something that was not okay. It's his stream, and he should have controlled his stream. That's point blank. He didn't control his stream, and that's on him. It's his fault that Austin felt the way he felt at the end. So It's not Austin's fault. It's not Jarbo's fault. It's not Neil's fault. It's not Phil's fault. It's Andre's fault. Point blank.
Benson, I didn't know you were. I called you a kid, but I meant that's like a Boston thing, by the way. I just want to like let everyone know that it's a Boston thing to be like, oh, that kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
what's up,
we
kid?
do it all the So you're a good guy, man. You're a good guy.
Yeah, good kid.
In
We
Ill
love
Life,
you, kid.
in Ill Life, maybe it's just we're gonna move on from it because I think we're spending a little too much time on it, but no hard feelings. It's just go our separate ways.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I do want to talk about the box office real quick.
Yeah, let's go.
There's something interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984. Only 35% of theaters were open, and I think I can pull that up. Or Caden, if you can find it. There we go. Where is it? It's one of these. Boom. I guess I don't have it. Okay, never mind. I had the numbers. I forgot to post it. But basically, Wonder Woman 1984. Only 30% of movie theaters were open. Had I think, here we go, $16.7 million opening. I am a little bit surprised now, and that again was free on HBO Max. Again, whatever. But then this weekend, this movie only made $28 million. I thought this would do closer to Black Widow's numbers.
Yeah.
Here's what I think is happening. I do think that because of that first film, I know I mentioned this before, in the general audiences, when they hear Suicide Squad, they immediately hear like,
it's like a sour taste in their mouth.
Sour. Same thing with the Snyder Cut. They're like, oh, it's that same movie. I'm like, no, it's. They don't care. But give it a couple of weeks, give it a couple of months as word of mouth spreads. But the issue I'm bringing is that the detractors for this film are saying, see, we boycotted this movie and we won. I'm like, no, that's not what happened. That is not what happened. Yes, some people boycotted it, but like, it's not like 100 million people decided not to watch this movie this weekend.
And also what I saw on Thursday was that like people are like, you know how you do the hashtag now watching, like on Twitter where you're doing a live watch. People were hashtag now pirating, like, and like,
dude, I saw that as well.
I was like,
people
were like link, and sending all these pirating links to people, and like one, you're just like being like, you're watching the movie, so you said you weren't gonna watch the movie, but now you're saying you're gonna pirate the movie. Yeah, and it's like, what's this like? What is it? Are you gonna watch it or are you not gonna watch it? What is your plan?
Yeah, I mean, if you even pirated it and watched it, well, you watched it. And look, pirating is bad, but there is an aspect of it that helps word of mouth, because there are some people who are going to pirate it just because they don't have HBO and don't want to go to theater, and they're going to like it, and they're going to be like, yeah, that movie is pretty good, and they'll tell a couple of people. And so I'm not saying piracy is a good thing, but pirating still kind of helps the movie in a weird way.
It does.
You guys
in a weird way. You shouldn't do it.
Do you guys think that they should have charged? Do you think HBO would have been smarter to charge a premium like Disney Plus did?
No, I think they should have, in hindsight, especially looking at Fast 9's box office numbers, which was not that great of a movie. This should have been straight to theaters. In hindsight, obviously they made the decision a long time ago. It was too late.
I disagree. Fast 9 came out at a different time, dude. We're like, I don't know what it's like. Actually,
are you talking about the Delta? Do you think that's a big?
Yes.
Most
over
people,
here,
I think,
it's getting serious. Like on the West Coast, we're talking about
on the West Coast
again.
I would say over here, no one even. I don't want to say cares, but like people are just like whatever. I saw more people in the last 3-4 weeks at the movie theaters than I did in
California and Vegas. The masks are back. Period.
Yeah.
Everybody is required to wear masks.
Really?
Maybe again, that's what I'm saying. Like you got to. All of this plays into it. You got to read the news. You got to be looking into, because people are staying home again. The critics just came out with the whole thing.
But that still is technically giving them a second view of life.
Okay,
right.
Yeah. But the critics just came out today with like this whole thing of like, you can't require us to go see these movies in theaters. Like we have to be able to do our jobs. They have to bring back the screeners. Like things are getting bad again. And it's been maybe a month between now and Black Widow, and things have gotten significantly worse.
Yeah.
Significantly.
They have. But not only that, but I think a few weeks from now, a few months from now, people will be talking about the Suicide Squad. They're not going to be talking about Black Widow. People are already moving on to Shang-Chi and the Eternals.
Right.
And already moved on to Spider-Man No Way Home. This is a movie people are going to talk about because there was craft in it. Even let's say you don't like it. There is craft in it. There is a director's take in it. The action has a sense of direction. The cinematography, by scene where Harley Quinn breaks out of the prison. By the way, Caden, see if you can pull up that photo. Apparently, she did that thing where her hand was like
this. I told you guys that a while back.
She pulled it up, did the thing herself. That woman is ambidextrous. And by the way, a lot of hate on
she did
her
all of her
out of
stunts
nowhere.
on her own.
A lot of people are hating on her out of nowhere.
James Gunn talked about how he was going to get the stunt person in there, and she was like, "No, I'll do it," because she's like, "I'm pretty good with my with my feet."
She's very flexible.
Yeah,
I think she had a
and she
background
did
in
it.
ballet. Yeah,
she did it, but the chain was in front of her face, and he didn't realize it until after in editing, and he was like, "It looks like I did a stunt double switch."
Yeah.
But it was actually her, and she's really good with that kind of stuff. So,
but I've noticed, so like we're talking about sort of the fans attacking this movie. Now they're attacking her because I guess she's in this movie and she's done 2 non-Snyder related films. People are saying she sucks as Harley Quinn. She's over.
People are saying that they like the Suicide 16 version better than her.
Yet for the last 4 years they've been
criticizing it. And telling it how it sexualizes her.
All of a sudden everyone loves the 2016 theatrical cut, even though they've been trashing it. It's been on the bottom of everybody's list for the past 4 or 5 years. So I mean, don't give me that shit.
This is something I've heard a lot too. Like, well, that wasn't the original version.
Yeah, I want to see David Ayers.
Okay, but you haven't seen it. No one had, not you, but like,
I know.
You haven't seen it. And I have said many times, if you're thinking that Ayers' version of the Suicide Squad is going to be the original film what the Snyder Cut was, you're going to be in for a disappointment. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad movie, but I don't think it's going to be that significant of a change. You're still going to have a lot of things you didn't like about that first movie. And then you can't tell me that this movie sucks because of a movie you haven't seen. You're like, that version was the version that was supposed to happen. I'm like, okay, I agree. And I still want to see the Ayer cut. I would say that we're in a better position now to see it because now the cast is calling for it. But you can't tell me that's better than this movie when you haven't seen that movie.
Right.
Like, it might not be as good as we think it is. I want it to be good.
Well, I mean, we have seen what 30 minutes can do to a film, right, with the BVS situation. So I think we have to hold off until we can see what it is, because I mean everyone hated, not a lot of people like BVS theatrical cut,
Yeah.
and then when we saw the Ultimate Edition, the 30 minutes really did change it, right?
It did.
Night and day.
It did.
So and then in David Ayer's, the whole ending's different. I mean, I would like to see what it was like. I really do. I support.
But my point is that
cut.
people are saying, like, they're comparing this movie to a movie you haven't seen, as if like, that's
that
our
is a
argument.
problem.
Haha, we won. It's like, no.
Yeah,
like you haven't even seen Ayer's movie.
Exactly. You haven't
and
seen.
And you're
the
putting
film,
up
so
a movie
how
that you've criticized for 4 years over a movie that
Yeah.
is actually really good. You guys just hate it because it's not Ayer or Snyder.
Exactly.
Just say it's exactly that.
And some people are knocking it that it's like mocking the characters by being too funny. I actually didn't think this movie was as funny as I thought it was.
It was not. It was not like when like it had funny gags, like moments, but it wasn't like it was like trying to make jokes of every single character. No. Like
the whole
they
concept
added
of the Suicide Squad is kind of stupid, and I mean that in a good
Yeah.
way. Like, let's take a bunch of psychopaths and have them do our dirty work. It's kind of like the Dirty Dozen. I don't know if you guys ever see that movie, or like even Inglourious Bastards.
That's what
Tarantino
Owen's
himself says
review.
the plan at the end of the movie is a bad plan. But you're like, hey, let's try it. Let's see if we can kill Hitler in a movie theater. You know, like
monetized.
Oh no!
You did it
Jack!
again, dude. Come
I said
on.
Hiller.
Oh.
Best
But
character
like,
from Independence Day, Captain Hiller. We're talking about Independence Day and how he wasn't in the sequel.
yes.
Yeah. Hopefully that sticks.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I like the whole Milton scene with Polka Dot Man. Like that scene
like,
was
my friend.
like, and I think it was like but it's just like, and like how Ratcatcher 2 was like
she was
whole she was amazing. And then what I liked about Peacemaker, like although I hate his character, I loved hating him, but like, and before the scene when he kills Rick Flag, he's like this like goofball dude that's just killing everyone like randomly. But then when he does that in that scene, he's terrifying as fuck. Like he's he's doing whatever he needs to do.
Yeah, we're demonetized just because of that.
It's
not because I said.
It's because of me. It's because of me, guys.
It's okay.
Real quick, Ill Life. So I'm not going to deny. Like, look, I haven't read too much Suicide Squad, but I have seen Hell to Pay, and I have seen the Assault on Arkham one, and that they're a little bit more serious. Would you?
The Ostrander run is what we got in the movie. Ostrander run is making fun of.
He makes a good point, actually. Honestly.
Yeah.
He does make a good point.
It's not stupid. But if
they did the Sinister Six campy like they did, I mean, I don't know if I'd classify Suicide Squad as campy.
No, Sinister Six and Suicide Squad are totally different. Also, because Suicide Squad was Task Force X, which is a government associated crew.
All right, I mean, all right, we can get down to the origins and how they're different.
My point is, but I would say that there are a lot of characters that the MCU has made campy. They've kind of done it with the Hulk. You ever read Hulk comics? They're actually more like that Edward Norton film, but they kind of camped him up at the end of Phase 1 and through now. Marvel's done it with a lot of characters. Maybe not to the degree that this movie has. I don't even think it's that campy. But like MCU does it with a lot of villains. They just kind of make them campy, or they make the heroes campy. I thought they did it with Black Widow, and it didn't land for me. I was like, like this could have been a much more darker, serious movie.
Yes, I'll say that's the one thing that I liked about Studio Squad was I did like that kind of dark tone. I do think that Gunn kept the grittiness and amplified the grittiness.
Yeah.
But I do like that dark tone as well. But the thing is, for me, is like Gunn made it work. And I've been vocal before that I didn't like the trailers. I wasn't crazy about all the jokes in the trailers and stuff. But for me, he made it work when I watched it.
And I think it's the first DCEU movie with nudity in it. We see a dude's junk right before he gets shot. We see a girl topless in the strip when they go through the back. Like,
I saw that. Yeah.
I love Carlos. I thought there would be more emphasis on the.
But and that's the thing is the trailer company. They took that scene and they kind of twisted it a little bit and amplified it. But when you see it in context, Austin and I talked about this in the review. It was so different in context, and it flowed better, and it wasn't like Yeah, of course, they're making penis jokes, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be worse. I thought there was going to be a penis exploding. Remember one guy said, like, behind the scenes,
Philip Borg was
you will
like,
see
he was like,
genitals
there's
exploding. I'm like,
exploding, heads exploding. You see everything.
I was expecting like a full RoboCop scene. Remember RoboCop shoots the dude in the neck?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, he was
that.
like Philip Borg. What the funny thing is, like, when he was marketing, when people were interviewing him for this movie, he was like, oh yeah, like he was talking about Javelin. He was like, yeah, Javelin. He's a great dude. He has a big javelin. Like, he's a great dude. Like, he's like, not only does he have a big javelin like in his hand, but he also has a big javelin somewhere else. And it's like he was just like, talking about this character, and it's just hilarious. Like that's what I liked about this cast. They were invested into this movie,
even if they were only in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like that's how they kind of blew your mind a little bit. I thought this would be a huge cast, and like no.
I really did. Okay, and like I said, I think Austin and I spoke about this as well. Is I really did forget for a moment when the movie opened and they assembled the Suicide Squad. I forgot about the other 7 characters, and I was like, damn, bro, he just killed the whole Suicide Squad in the first 5 minutes, and then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller, you dirty, dirty, dirty person.
Like I was like she chose the people like I was telling Austin and Ty earlier, whatever this was. I think it was just Ty yesterday. But like the reason Katana is in this movie is because Amanda Waller didn't authorize the hiring of her. Also because in the first movie she authorized the hiring of Katana for Rick Flag's bodyguard. And she was like, yeah, sure. And because she's making this thing where Rick Flag believes that she can trust Waller. And he can trust Waller. And then in this movie, she's not here because, Rick Flag believes that he can trust her. And it doesn't, and then,
but isn't the actress working in The Boys now? She's that girl, right?
Yeah. They kind of played it where Rick in the first one, it was the first time they had ever assembled a team like this, so he maybe needed a little bit backup. But this one, he was definitely more in charge, and the others understood it.
I'm also assuming this isn't their second mission, that they've done missions between now.
Right.
And
they probably did like 2 or 3 other missions between this.
Yeah, because they're kind of working as like a, you know what I mean? They gather everyone pretty quickly, and the way Amanda talks to Ratcatcher actually kind of gives it away. Because she's like, are you joining us for this one? Get off your ass. Like, they've been out,
and then like
they've
Savant, in the beginning, Savant, when she gets Savant, she's like, he's like, I thought I had 15. It's like, no, you have to come now. It's like, so it's like, like there's definitely like and some
also, I don't
other.
think Katana was a criminal.
No, she wasn't one that had the bomb in her neck. She was a bodyguard for Rick Flag. Rick Flag hired her.
Yeah.
It was Rick Flag that got her. It wasn't Waller.
Have you guys ever seen Beware the Batman? The way they did Katana, that was actually pretty cool. She's actually Bruce Wayne's partner, and like, check it out. It's on HBO Max.
Carlos, we actually already discussed what would have helped the Suicide Squad, and that would have been Will Smith being in it.
Oh yeah, I think that would have been cool. But I don't know if Will Smith and
I would have loved to see Harley and Will Smith get it on, and because I don't know if you guys remember, we talked about it last night, but it was the first time Harley had an orgasm in the comic. It was with Deadshot, and to see that would have been
Deadshot in Assault on Arkham too.
That's like, so they do have a complicated relationship, and then that would have been cool to see maybe the next movie with Poison Ivy, and you could really showcase how she is she just she loves everybody and anybody, unless unless they want to murder kids.
Whole cul-de-sac, for lack of a better, where she meets the president of the country, dates him all day, agrees to marry him. I was like, where the hell is the movie going with this?
Right.
And I was like,
I loved it.
I thought it was so funny. Then she shot him. I did the right thing and murder him.
In that
what did you guys think of Starro?
Amazing. Incredible. But
say what you're gonna say first.
Yeah, real quick. In that moment, the one thing I realized, I thought, okay, James Gunn understands Harley Quinn. He understands that character well, and I would love to see him do a Harley Quinn movie, because that whole monologue where, after I feel like Gunn would make it good. Gunn would
Yeah,
make it
Gunn
really
would,
good.
because
like
Gunn
Birds of Prey.
understands Harley.
Sorry, not sorry. I like Birds of Prey. I liked her in that too.
Yeah,
but
I
that
think
sequence with Harley, that's what I wanted out of Birds of Prey.
Yes. Dude, when she gives
Right.
that monologue and she's just
the red
talking
flag
about
monologue. is
oh my
amazing.
gosh. And she goes, I know what you're saying. Why don't you you don't have to kill me, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah.
And she goes,
Say, why are you
serious to
yelling?
crazy. Yeah,
Although
why are
I
you
will say
yelling at me?
there is a comparable, like the hallway scene in Birds of Prey, the whole sequence, which I think was a reshoot with the guy from John Wick, where she goes into the police station.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
and she
actually really
kills
well
and she kills like the whole, basically half the police department.
But what do you
Like-
guys think of Starro? Because I mean, Starro was.
Oh, Starro.
You kind of forget
What's
that there
up?
is a thing like a villain.
Yeah, there's a period
There's
of
a
the movie
kaiju.
where like it kind of like they're just dealing with the
It's
building
a-
collapsing.
Kaiju up in the
And when I talked to Adam, Polka Dot Man's David Dasmushin, I can never
Yeah.
pronounce his name.
David Dalsmosh.
Oh, there it is.
That's Yeah.
But
French.
they did that practically with the floor falling out, and Harley actually stabs the javelin into
Yeah.
the thing. So they did that all practically, and
they
that's what I
had the
really liked
practical
about this
Starro,
film.
like mini Starros as well.
Yeah.
Like all of like majority of those Starros, like were all practical. Like Steve Agee, when he did the Happy Birthday James Gunn, he shared a photo with James Gunn with the practical Starro on his face, and
Right.
it looks just like it came from the film. Like it was like
Dude, I for me, like you guys all know, we've all seen it. We're all comic fans here. You know, the very first villain Justice League takes on Justice League versus Starro. When that title popped up on screen, the Suicide
Yeah.
Squad versus Starro the Conqueror.
I
Dude,
was
was
like-
like, are you
Yep.
kidding me right now? Let's go.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
man,
I
it
thought
was-
it was great.
I
Yeah.
was so hyped up, man. It felt that whole end sequence just felt like, man, this is a comic come to life.
And there was a little bit of it reminded me a little bit of towards the end when they all zombify, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, there was a lot of little Dawn of the Dead references in this movie. First of all, it starts with Johnny Cash, just like Dawn of the Dead did.
Oh,
That
God.
song, all my friends who died. That's at the end of Dawn of the Dead, at the beginning of this movie. And I know
Yeah.
there was some controversy that it being in the opening credits, and then Zach
Oh yeah, that was
there. That is manufactured controversy.
BS. Yeah.
That's BS. Yeah.
I wrote about how it was similar to Dawn of the Dead, and I read a bunch of Suicide Squad reviews, and no one mentions the
people pick up on
similarities.
that? Okay.
No one mentions, and they're all referencing like the Dark Knight and Guardians of the Galaxy, but no one picked up on the very ever present Dawn of the Dead references here. And
They're looking
Yeah.
at it like, dude, this is they play this after Down with the Sickness. Or
yes.
they play
Yeah.
before Down with the Sickness. At the credits, it's like, oh yeah, right. Yeah. I was like, yeah.
And that's the thing too that I thought was cool is for me, it's so funny because I feel like all the Snyder fans besides me and a couple others, you guys and stuff, like we're all the opposite. They went in looking for the stuff that Gunn was doing to kill the Snyderverse or to disassociate himself.
Well,
And I went in
that Rick Flag and Boomerang get killed very quickly, or not? Well, Boomerang gets killed quickly.
right.
And they were the
But-
last two attachments aside from Harley,
But
and that
but
was intentional.
I went in, you know, looking for what was similar, and so obviously those nods to Snyder with the music and stuff. I think I read somewhere that Gunn did see the Snyder cut before this movie released,
Maybe.
and
Yeah.
so I thought even the title. I took the title cards throughout the movie as like his.
Oh,
little
but
nods to,
Austin,
like,
you don't
how
know.
Snyder-
They're just saying that for marketing purposes. Gunn and
Right,
Snyder
right.
actually hate each other in real life.
That's yeah. They
Hashtag
don't
last
talk.
Thursday show.
They never speak. They've never.
No,
They hate each other.
better.
Yeah, except and that's what I really don't like is because James Gunn had so much respect for David Ayer, Zack Snyder, and anyone who came before him from DC. Yet all of our all the Snyder purists, and listen, we're all Snyder fans here, every single one of us. However, we're objectively sitting out from the side and looking in and saying, how could you do this to a guy? You can't push one person down to amplify another and expect me to take you seriously.
It's a very binary way of thinking. And again, that's been the argument. You can either like one or not the other. And I'm like, no, yes, you can like both. You can support the Snyderverse and still like this movie. But the argument is, no, you can't.
And then I know you have it pegged to talk about it as well, but I mean, then you look over and it blows my mind how people can be like, no one's happy ever anymore. Then you look over and you see the stuff happening with Captain Carter, and you're just like, God, what is happening, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I mean, did you guys want to talk about it?
You know what? Do you guys want to transition into that?
Let's do it.
Yeah, all right, Caden. You have
set it up, baby.
Set it up, Caden. Well, long story short, the What If series is coming out. In fact, Ty did a 3-episode review of it. And in it, there's an episode about Captain Carter. And I think they replaced the official Captain America photo to hers, right?
So what happened was it went from Steve Rogers to Sam Wilson when Sam Wilson took over as Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Now they changed it to Captain Carter to promote What If, not to be SJW.
Yeah.
Right. And because we're in the multiverse.
Yeah. And trust me, I've seen the first 3 episodes of What If. Captain Carter is she's going to lead this What If thing. She's definitely the center of it.
But basically, the R word came out that this was racism, even though Marvel just made him Captain America, and his movie is at least a year or 2 away from being announced. But for the purposes of promoting What If, they changed it to Captain Carter temporarily, and fans are having outraged or having meltdowns on Twitter that this was race-based. Come on, this was not race-based. The dude is going to be back. He's getting his own movie. Captain Carter is getting a 20-minute cartoon.
Yeah, they're 33 minutes, man. Like
33, but like.
No, I'm not saying it to you. They're 33 minutes long. She's going to be the center of What If. She shows up in multiple episodes. That's it, right? That's how it's going to be. So they're promoting their own content. They're not trying to be. And listen, Disney's had their issues with that kind of stuff, right? With the Star Wars posters and Finn. We get it, but this wasn't that. This was not that. Pick your battles, guys, because this is ridiculous.
But like, again, this is what I call manufactured controversy, kind of like with the whole like stuff we were just talking about with the Suicide Squad. Like, oh, this was insidious. Marvel, the very company that just made a black Captain America, is secretly trying to make us forget it to promote a white lady from England. I'm like, again, and the problem is people swallow this stuff up so much that the Twitterverse goes crazy, like, is Marvel racist? I told you at some point some company's gonna be like, you know what, F you. We're tired of this kind of like woke type of overreaction. That's not what happened. It's clearly not what happened.
It's a, you know what it is? It's a lot of the websites and the YouTube channels that will take anything. They will take anything and turn it into a controversy in order to rile people up and get money. It's all.
Dude, I'm calling you right now. At some point, someone will say, "Why does she have the Union Jack? The Union Jack was a symbol of British white imperialism." And I'm like, look, I'm from Pakistan. They were in our country for like 200 years. It's okay. I can enjoy it. I don't have anything against England. I like England. I've been there twice.
Right.
As a kid. But that's it. I could probably start that controversy. Like, you know what? My great-grandfather was harassed by the British, and I see that Union Jack, and it offends me because of what happened to my great-grandfather, whose name I don't even know. And all of a sudden, like on Twitter, people were like, "Justice for Jack."
Right. Hashtag justice for Jack. His great-great-grandfather. Thank you for Benson's with the two. What is that?
£2? That's like $3 or $4.
All right, thank you for the £2 super chat. Saying we need to stop calling these people fans. And honestly, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
I agree.
All the hatred and all the toxicity needs to.
The countdown man,
clout chasers.
The P word. Remember, let's make an issue out of that. He called him the P word. Rhymes with wussy in the beginning of the Suicide Squad. Let's make an issue out of that. That's offensive to cats.
Right.
But so
the cats are coming back in protest.
I'll tell you guys this though about What If. What If is definitely the best Marvel animated thing I've ever seen. And for a long time, Marvel hasn't been really good with the animation. I mean, can you guys attest to that?
Yeah, I mean,
I
the only
haven't-
good Marvel animation I liked was made by Fox, like in the 90s, like the X-Men.
Well, yeah, okay,
right?
so the original,
But
like
that wasn't Marvel, that was Fox who
Yeah.
made that.
the 90s
Yeah.
stuff is also the exception. This series, the animation is so clean.
Yeah.
The way they tell the stories is interesting and it's fun. I like how the Watcher is involved with it, and he kind of walks you through like why the variant timeline happens. So he shows you the original timeline a little bit, and then he's like,
is it the same actress? I forgot her name.
Haley Atwell. Yes, it
Haley
is.
Atwell, yeah.
The really the one problem I have with the show is that some characters aren't voiced by the same, and it's hard because the
Right,
relationship that the MCU built with Steve Rogers and Captain not Captain Carter Peggy Carter,
Yeah.
it's so fundamental to the MCU that when you hear someone else voicing Steve Rogers, it kind of throws you off a little bit.
Yeah,
But-
I think that Chris Evans is like, it's probably too expensive too to get him
It
back.
really is, but you know it's funny. Steve Rogers is a big part of that first episode, so
Yeah.
I was like, maybe they should have gotten him to come in because basically, it's the first Avenger storyline,
Okay.
right? With Haley Atwell as Captain Carter, and that's what sets the tone for the entire series is what
Okay.
happens on that first episode. So I'm not really sure why they're calling it an anthology.
Is
it-
it,
Well, we'll see.
It wouldn't
what I guess,
classify as an
and maybe-
anthology.
maybe it's going to be by seasons because we know this is going to get multiple seasons. We know this one is going to get.
From the
So,
first
like,
three
American
episodes, I
Horror-
already know.
American Horror Story, one season is one story, second season's a different story.
Right.
So
Right.
Right.
So
might
if
be.
maybe that okay, so that would actually maybe that's I didn't even think about that. That would actually make more sense.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like Black Mirror anthology. Where
Yeah.
every
Okay,
episode's
yeah.
different.
Love
but,
Death Robots, yeah.
But
Right.
you said you feel like kind of Peggy leads this one. So
100%.
Maybe in the anthology next season it's somebody else, a new so.
No, they said that she's gonna lead the second season too.
Oh.
That's why
Whoa.
I'm like, well,
Well, maybe not. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
not an anthology.
So-
Well, maybe it's like the Tales from the Crypt, where the Crypt Keeper knows every story. I don't know.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
the
it's
Watcher is. The
basically
Watcher is
Utoa the Watcher is basically this dude who watches like he's basically like who he remains, but instead of like how he's like just watching over everything, he just watches. Like he says he doesn't infiltrate or he doesn't do anything until now, and we'll see why he doesn't until now. And there's
It
the
hasn't come
Peggy
out yet,
Carter
right?
episode. It comes out tonight.
Comes out tonight. Okay.
yeah.
and,
So, are
and
they just doing one episode?
Stargirl starts tonight. What If starts tonight, and then Thursday Titans starts with 3
God, That's what I
episodes.
gotta finish. Titans. I keep thinking like I'm forgetting something.
Titans
So
is-
this week
me and
is
Aiden
big
watch
with
Titans.
streaming and
I gotta
stuff
finish
coming
season
back.
2.
Like
Yeah.
I think this week is
And
the
Doom
start
Patrol
of like
come back next month.
coming up. Next, yeah,
That I
September.
thought was a phenomenal show. A little bit like second half of season 2 when it focused on the little girl. And it was kind of
Davey-
creepy. Apparently she's like 35 or something. Like she's not a kid at all. Not
No,
35,
no.
but like she's like a fully grown person.
Yeah, she
I
is,
don't
and that's so. Really, what happened with Doom Patrol and Marcel was I don't know if you remember, he was telling us
Yeah.
that it got shut down at the end. So the first couple episodes of Doom Patrol that are coming out are going
Yeah.
to finish that storyline,
Okay. All right.
and then they're gonna move on from it and go into the third season storyline because they didn't get to finish that last season, and that's
Okay.
what really threw me off about second season, and that's
I
why I
want
didn't
you to
like it.
recap because it's been a while. But
I'm gonna
Doom
be
Patrol.
seeing that a little bit. I'm gonna be seeing that probably in the next week or so.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. And
Excellent show. I think again, and this going back to the Suicide Squad. Even talk. Okay, so this looks good, but I think DC has the upper hand in telling stories like this. Like Doom Patrol, like Titans, where they're not holding back for the 5-year-old who wants to watch with his mommy. The Suicide Squad. You technically could have taken your kids to see the 2016 film. It was a PG-13 film, but like DC has the edge right now. To me, they've done better than Marvel this year between the Snyder Cut and Black Widow. I think, in my opinion.
yeah, I think DC that this is the start of the DC like control. And when I'm the Flash, if
The Flash, I think, is going to be better than Spider-Man 3, and I think Spider-Man 3 is going to be a mind blow.
there it is, baby. I'm gonna.
I mean,
win
I
that
think the
$100.
Spider-Man 3 will make more
I'm gonna
money.
win that $100. maybe the box office will be better, but I don't think the audience score is going to be better.
But,
I think the DC clutch or the clutches of DC are really starting to come in. And if they can keep the momentum with Black Adam and the Flash, the tides will change.
The tides will change, and part of that could be, folks, you get the Ayer cut. Part of that could be Justice League 2 on HBO Max. Once that floodgate opens, everything is possible. Ben Affleck is Batman, while Pattinson is Batman, while Michael Keaton is Batman Beyond.
And it's great to be a comic book movie fan because you both have you have DC winning, you have Marvel winning on both streaming and theatrical. With now next month we're gonna get Shang-Chi, and that.
He's pronouncing it in the actual Mandarin. Shang-Chi.
Yes, Shang-Chi.
Is that for real?
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
Sasha Kaje. Someone asked me, why do you keep saying it like that? Because I thought it was Kaye, I thought it was Callie, and then I actually looked it up, and then she herself says Kaje.
Yeah.
Oh, she does?
She's right. She grew up right. Well, she's from right up the street from me.
Oh, okay.
Literally, like
her back,
right up the street.
Okay. Well, she's like, hi, I'm Sasha Kaje. I'm like, and then I looked it up.
Wow.
And like, wherever her ethnicity is from, it's Kaje. It's not Kaye or Callie.
Wow.
And I'm not afraid to admit that I liked Stargirl, and I'm actually
Stargirl. I really like.
They're bringing
really
the
like
Green
Stargirl.
Lantern daughter
Yes,
into the season.
she's coming in this episode, like the premiere.
I'm super excited for it. I didn't get to watch it early. I'm kind of because the CW is in control of that one, not HBO Max.
Yeah, which is like I know we're not supposed to talk about Jeff Johns or anything, but whatever. Like he's he's the showrunner, he's the creative Stargirl, and I'm happy for him over there. Like can I be happy?
He could be both a good writer and a jerk. That's entirely possible. Tarantino is such a weirdo. You ever seen an interview with him? He's a jerk. He's a complete jerk, but he's a good filmmaker.
Yeah, like
Jeff Johns has issues, but
but like I'm not praising Jeff Johns at all. But I'm just saying, like on TV set, he can stay on DC TV. Yeah. Like
I think it's time for Berlanti to move aside.
I would also say the same thing about Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon writes good television.
Berlanti needs to leave after. I think he has one. The funny thing is, Jeff Johns and Berlanti are producing the Pretty Liars revival.
They're reviving that?
Yeah, or either revive with it's right
there above my head. Liars.
It's like 20 or 10 years later after the first.
So it won't be the original cast.
No, it's Bailey Madison. It's basically like. It's a reboot / revival. It's weird, but Jeff Johns and Greg Berlanti are a producer on this. I'm like, what does Jeff Johns know about Pretty Little Liars?
He had nothing to do with the original series, which was really good.
No.
So back to the thing is I
know Carlos.
Go watch the opening scene to Stargirl and tell me that it isn't cinematically much better than the CW Arrowverse. That opening sequence in the first episode of Stargirl is one of the best things I've seen on TV as far as superhero content. I loved the way they filmed it.
On CW?
It was technically it's like mixed between the both. However, the CW episodes were like a little bit different. It's the same thing that they did with Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
They canceled that, right?
Yeah, and I've been saying that they need to bring Swamp Thing back on HBO Max. # bring Swamp Thing back. It did not get its time in the limelight. No pun intended. It needs to come back. That series was fantastic. I'm a huge supporter of Swamp Thing.
They also need to bring back Netflix or
the Daredevil
or something.
Do you guys think that Charlie Cox will be in No Way Home?
She-Hulk or No Way Home?
Yeah. Yes.
But they need to get some of those. I know that. Stephen DeKnight, I think, get some of those writers who worked on the Netflix shows because they had a great handle.
Stephen DeKnight wants to do a Doctor Doom series. He just said yesterday that he's like, I'll do a Doctor Doom series. I'm like, yes, give him Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Because
and
even
to DL's point here, it's you got to know that what you're going into with Stargirl.
Yeah.
It's definitely a teenage. Like I'm gonna relate
It's
it
a
to
teen drama.
Yeah, like Ms. Marvel's gonna be the same kind of deal. It's like a teen drama, and you have to know that that's what you're going into, or else you're not gonna you're gonna be like, what the? I'm 29 years old. Why am I watching this?
Dude,
But
someone came up to me like, dude, aren't you excited for Miss Marvel? I'm like,
I'm telling you, it's a sleeper hit.
And I'm like, so?
It's gonna be a sleeper hit.
I mean, I'm gonna say it, but like someone was like trying to pull that with me. They're like, oh, you're Pakistani, she Pakistani. And I'm like, no, that's not how it
Justice
works.
for Swamp Thing, baby. Justice.
Yeah,
for
I hope J.J. Abrams revives Swamp Thing.
With
Like
Justice
that
League
exact
Dark?
one. For Justice League Dark. Oh my god, I'm so excited for that
That'd be
whole
pretty
stuff.
wild.
Like I get people are like J.J. Abrams. I'm like, no. Like what I'm hearing from all this, I remember Fennel says that Zatanna movie is gonna be full on crazy with supernatural stuff. And the Madame Zandu series, it's like with the showrunner that they got for that series is amazing. They're casting a young Riz Ahmed type for Constantine. So hell yeah, I'm hyped
Isn't
for all
Owen
this stuff.
Sam coming
They're
back? Is Keanu
do
coming
you-
back for Constantine?
Keanu
No.
Reeves, okay, because there's
Oh, wait,
rumors
yes,
that one of the
yes.
stars of like
John
the
Wick,
first
that's why he's so
Constantine.
popular.
Yeah, the first Constantine, one of the stars from the first Constantine says there's the sequel in the works for like, and then Keanu, people have been asking Keanu, he says he just denies it, but I don't think it's happening.
Aren't they trying to cast like a?
Yeah, I think it's yeah. So they're
like
trying to
a-
cast a young Riz Ahmed type,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
Riz Ahmed. Okay,
like
all
his
right.
in his 20s, like his late 20s, and
I mean, Keanu's going
and
to
so
be looking the same for another 20 years, but it's just
Yeah.
because John Wick movies are so popular right now, and he's kind of
right, and they just recently cast Clancy Brown in the movie, Mr. Krabs versus John Wick.
John Wick 4.
I think Clancy Brown might play John Wick's father.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm really like, I'm telling you, there was a comment from someone who works along with Warner and
Daniel
said that
Craig
they
is too old for James Bond. Sorry, I just wanted someone said that. I saw that trailer right before Suicide Squad. I'm like, ooh.
For James Bond.
Yeah, he looked a little bit.
Oh yeah, Daniel Craig is too. I think Daniel Craig, like if they didn't cast Pierce Bronson for Dr. Fate, he would have been a good Dr. Fate.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He was looking a little weathered.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
he's
it's a 10-year retired, 5-year retired James Bond, who's been not in the MI6 or 007 for 5 years.
I'm not a big fan of JJ's style of direction either.
I like
J.J. Abrams
like
is
JJ.
Yeah,
he
I'm
has
not
hits
the
and
biggest
misses.
fan.
I like
afraid.
the TV shows better. I liked Lost. I like
Yeah.
Person of Interest. Fringe, which is a show that went completely under the radar. JJ Abrams made that show. Look up a show called
Right.
Fringe. Excellent show.
Yeah.
Great
And I like his mystery box take on things. Like, so
Mhm.
he did a commencement speech where he talks about the mystery box, and that's how he like did Lost, and really that's why Warner picked him up. They want that next series like Lost from
Yeah.
JJ, and I think they're gonna get it.
Wasn't that
I'm
one?
hoping.
They were gonna do the Shining sequel series,
Yeah.
but they just passed on it because they wanted JJ to focus on the Justice League Dark stuff.
Wait,
so
is he not doing the Superman with Ta-Nehisi Coates anymore?
Yeah,
He
I,
is- he's
I
still
really do
producing
think
that.
that's gonna get scrapped.
but I think
That's
that's
gonna
gonna
get
be
canceled.
that's getting scrapped.
Not like Ta-Nehisi.
He's gonna be, because when they were making comments about J.J. Abrams with JLD, they said that they wanted to focus on world building that, and so I think JJ's and Ta-Nehisi Coates, or they might get a different producer and then have Ta-Nehisi Coates write for the Val-Zod stuff.
Ty, you
or,
remember the prediction I made about the
Yes,
one
I
thing
do.
that's going to be
I
in
do.
that movie if it gets
I
made,
do.
right?
I
I'm
really
telling you, it's
do.
going to be right in the trailer. I'll be like a teaser. I'm telling you, that's going to be. It's going to be in that
Jack
movie.
had a funny prediction for because Jack really loves Ta-Nehisi Coates, so
All right,
he has
so,
a prediction. For
Do you guys
what's
know
gonna
my
be.
theories? Okay, so it's going to be a period piece, right? It's going to be set in the 60s. You're going to have
Yeah.
Black Clark Kent. He's going to be on a date with Lana Lang, and a white cop's going to pull him over. It's like, what are you doing with Miss Lang, son? He's going to have like a big vein in his forehead. It's like, step out. And he's going to shoot young Clark Kent. And it's going to go into slow motion. And the bullet's going to like hit off his chest and bounce off. And the white cop's going to be like, oh my God. like just freak out. And I'm like, what a brother.
That'll be a funny scene. That'll be actually good. If it's
and basically the whole movie is going to be that speech that Sam Wilson gave at the end of Falcon Winter Soldier to the senator. The whole movie is going to be like that.
Oh my god!
They're not going to accept you because you're a black Superman. You know.
But
they're half hour.
Coates is a racist.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of Coates. I mean, there are some things I like. He wrote a lot about U.S.
Yeah, well, let's not do that today.
Yeah, no.
Let's not do that today.
But
DC.
I'll say this actually.
What I was saying though is there's a representative of Warner Brothers that said that they want to they want to focus on one universe and they want to stop Titans and start all they want to like kind of like let those things end. And I was just like, why? You're on top of the world right now with DC television. Those shows are so good right now. I'm telling you guys, Titans season 3. Yes. I really do think that side needs to wrap up. I think the Arrowverse needs to end, and then they need to focus on the HBO Max DC television, because that's where it is, because they can take risks. They can do it a little bit darker. And the Arrowverse is just it's run its course. It really has. It's run its course and it's dried up. It was cool at the beginning to see all those characters kind of moving over, but now that they got this, thing over there on HBO Max, that side of it's just so much better that like when you watch it and then you go look at something like Flash, you're like, yeah, it's just not the same.
Yeah, it's a shame because I felt like they started well.
They did.
First 2 seasons of Flash, first 2 seasons of Arrow, that second season of Arrow. And then they're
some of the best DC television was the first couple seasons of those shows, and they were really on top of the game.
The one I dropped out of just because of time, but I still enjoyed, was Legends of Tomorrow, which I didn't realize started before Guardians of the Galaxy, because it kind of reminded me of Guardians.
It started right before it.
Yeah, and the guy who played the Atom, Brandon Routh, he was great.
Brandon Routh, he was Superman.
Like, if they stuck with him at Superman, he would still be Superman right now. Like he still looks the same.
But in Crisis, he ends up playing Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah, which is the Christopher Reeve Superman. Like that's the same. That's not multiverse. That's the same dude as the 77 or 79 film or whatever.
Yep, and that was cool to see. I can't get the Superman and Lois show up apparently is good, and I really do want to watch it.
The first couple episodes, I haven't seen it since it took a break. I haven't seen it come back.
That's another thing. That's another thing that CW does that I can't stand. Is they do those 18 breaks.
Yeah. Those weird breaks, and also I understand, because you're like with Superman Lois, season 1 was still like mid-production because they had to stop production because of COVID, and then they had to also I get with the Superman Lois stuff,
but then there's
really good. The guy, it's really good.
If you like the old school Superman, like you don't like the dark Henry Cavill take, you like the sort of 90 or the Christopher Reeve 90s Superman, smiles, white teeth and all that. He does that really well. He does his own take on it. And Lois Lane is actually really interesting. And the way they did it was that they're already married. They move back to Kent Farms, and there's like a conspiracy within Smallville. And sometimes that story is more interesting than him fighting the villain.
Right. And what I've watched from it, Lois Lane is she's she's a reporter, so she's detective type, and also the Lex Luthor of Another Earth that is there. There's a twist on him, which is really cool. And it's a good twist on that character, and there's a nice little twist on him. There's a nice twist on Morgan Edge. There's a twist on all these characters that are really cool. And and it's really cool what they do with these people, and it tries to not steer away from the Arrowverse stuff, but it feels like its own continuity. Yeah, it's
in a different universe. It's in the Supergirl universe, which is like a different realm, isn't it?
No, it's the same. In Crisis they combined.
Yeah, in Crisis, they kind of brought it all together. That's one thing that I didn't enjoy when they released that little where everything is, because they put Titans and Doom Patrol in separate worlds.
Titans and Doom Patrol were always going to be separate worlds.
But they did a backdoor pilot in Titans or Doom Patrol.
But they had a different doctor.
yes, they did have a different doctor. That's why they got away with it.
Yeah.
I thought it was stupid because that's how Gar gets that's how Gar enters the Titans. So I was like,
there's still Doom
now
Patrol.
they're
There's still
separate
the Doom Patrol on that Earth. It's just that they're more serious and dark on that Earth than the one on the Doom Patrol Earth.
well, they should have made that like very apparent.
That was supposed to be the same universe at some point.
Yeah, it was definitely because they all three of them
Or
started on
unless
DC universe.
after Crisis they got separated.
Yeah,
or whatever.
because they started on all DC universe and they were clearly tonally the same, like similar.
And they got the same actors for the rest of them.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys are gonna really enjoy Titans season 3. It's really good. I like the storyline.
Me too.
And overall, it's telling a good story.
Can I just bounce off this point to kind of connect to the earlier? A lot of people are saying they're going to boycott HBO Max. Dude, no one is going to boycott HBO Max.
No.
There's too much content on there, like Titans, like the Harley Quinn cartoon. There's too much content on there for you to be.
And Doom Patrol season 3 looks amazing. Like it had the season 3 trailer for Doom Patrol looks amazing. It has Monsieur Marat, the monkey, the big gorilla.
Right.
The brain. It has. I love Kieran Walter's Red Hood.
So someone asks, how serious could you take Kieran Walter's Red Hood? Very seriously. Very seriously.
He's terrifying.
He died, and that's the thing about what Titans season 3 is doing is they took the series that did have missing things. They put it on HBO Max, and all the pieces are now coming together. The actors seem more invested in their characters.
Yeah,
and better.
Yeah, Brenton Thwaites, like when someone asked him, "Oh, how is the writing this season?" and he's like, "Oh, like the actors and writers are working together now. Like we're working together to push our characters even more forward." And he says that like the writing has upgraded, and it has. That's why I like the season. Like now I'm enjoying Titans. Before I was just like, it's Titans, whatever. And
don't worry, he wears tall boots, so he gets taller.
He wears these tall, like 1 foot tall boot that makes him
platforms. He wears platforms to make him taller.
And it's a nice boot. It's a nice boot. It has like a metal guard on the because he can kick and all that stuff. He's like it like everything makes sense with his costume.
And I like how the story is set up because Scarecrow is definitely like they pay homage. There's a little homage to like
he's Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter, yeah.
So,
Resident Justice.
Like, what do you guys think about Tim Drake being revealed as a bisexual character now? It's shown in the Batman and issue. I love that actually because Tim Drake actually has been a character where we didn't know. He was like although like people assumed, it was just one of those characters where people some of the fans of Tim Drake character.
It would have been weird if it was like Dick Grayson or something.
Is Tim Drake's around? Because I feel like ever since the Red Hood thing happened,
Tim Drake is not Red Hood.
Like, no one's talking about Tim
that's
Drake
Jason
anymore.
Todd.
Like he was my favorite Robin. Like I feel like after the early 2000s, no one really talks about him anymore.
Yeah,
well, Tim Drake will be talked about more, I promise.
Well, here's the thing, Resident Justice chances were up until this point he wasn't supposed to be. It was the assumption always was with movies and TVs, if you see a character, just assume they're straight. Times have changed in the last couple of years. So when the character was written, chances are they were written. Every character was written as straight, and the assumption was they're supposed to be straight. But it also was never confirmed. I mean, just because he kissed a girl, maybe at some issue or some point, or doesn't necessarily mean that. So
because again, he's bisexual. So if he did kiss a girl, it doesn't matter. He can kiss a guy the next day.
And then in Titans, Tim Drake shows up.
Really? And what they
man.
do with Tim Drake is amazing.
The way they're introducing him,
introduce him and
all right, cool.
They got this kid playing him,
Jay Lee Kurgo.
Well, I can't say his last name, so I didn't even try. But
Jay Lee
and I do want to throw a quick shout out to RJ. He did join the channel membership as at the top tier. So shout out to RJ for being a trooper and a now a part of the family. Guys,
Yeah.
do want to remind you that to keep the show going and to keep it evolving, if you could support and become a member, send a super chat, anything helps keep us going and moving forward and being able to bring you more fun exclusive content or anything like that. So we love all of you, and you know, anyone who subscribes is part of the family, and we love talking to you, hearing new perspectives, people's opinions, different fandoms, anything. Feel free. This is a place where we can all get along and talk about the things that we love. So I just want to shout out to everybody, anybody. So thank you guys.
And like talking about the whole reveal of Tim Drake, the way they do it is like basically, yeah, it's just like I read the panels of like how they did it, and it looks amazing how they did it. Like, you know, yeah, it's cool. And also in the Titan show, it's he has a cool story.
This this dude, did you guys watch the Doom Patrol trailer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched
do
it.
that one now.
All right,
It's
so, like,
wacky
why
as-
don't you pull it up and we'll take a look at it? Because I
have not seen it.
didn't get to release the trailer reaction I did, so we can pull it up now, and just go with it because we're probably already demonetized anyway. It's
We
a
haven't
fun.
gotten
It's
to
a
sexual
fun trailer.
harassment yet. We haven't even
Yeah.
gotten to the good
It's so
stuff yet.
fun. It's a fun, wacky trailer.
It's a wacky trailer.
It is
yeah.
very wacky. It's and it encompasses and it amplifies who the Doom Patrol are, and it's in a really fun way.
And I like how they're going with emotional stories. Like they have always done emotional stories, but this one's a full-on emotional story for Cyborg and all these other characters as well.
Right. Exactly. And so I don't. Brendan Fraser as
Robert Mann.
Robot is just fantastic casting. He does such a good job and the whole cast does a good job because they're these very obscure characters in the DC catalog, but the way they're taken out for rides is super fun to watch. And the first season of Doom Patrol is like nothing I've ever seen. Honestly, I felt like I was on like mushrooms watching it.
Is someone pulling it up, or like, I don't know if Caden thinks Ty's doing, or
Okay, I'll do it. Okay, all right. I thought you were doing it. You're typing.
No one told me.
You were
You
doing
were
it,
typing,
Jack.
dude. I thought you were pulling it up.
I think we all thought you were doing it, Jax.
No.
All right, I got it.
Got it, okay.
Shoot, I typed in Titans. Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol trailer. You guys can keep talking. Jesus, my God.
Oh, sorry, I was stretching.
No, we're gonna wait here in silence for you, Ty.
That's what it felt like. It
Take
was
your
really
time.
weird.
We're gonna wait in silence, and I want you to feel it. I want you to feel it hover over. No,
September 23rd.
Exactly.
September 23rd. Is there a September 23rd? I think.
Yeah.
September 23rd.
Okay.
Okay, where is it here?
Oh, you'll see in the trailer. So
Come on, stop it.
Yeah, it always does that. Like it keeps playing,
Yeah.
and then.
All right, you guys ready? All right, Doom Patrol's season 3 finale of season 2 to season 3 trailer.
Masters of Evil.
And I
And
absolutely love that they got Mark Shepard in there, the guy who played Crowley in Supernatural, because things
But
like,
with a mouth.
last season there was a whole episode where they all orgasmed the whole time. Like they were all having orgasms the whole time.
because
was
of
what
Flex
happened.
Metallo.
It was literally half an episode, Jack. It was intense and it was weird, but it was like super fun. I love Doom Patrol, man.
Yeah.
It's such a weird show, and they really do. I'm
What do they got?
I'm
Flex
absolutely in
Metallo,
love
is that
with
his
it.
name?
what?
Flex
Flex
Metallo.
Metallo or
Flex,
something.
yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, Flex.
Flex
He's a
Metallo.
great character. He's a great character.
And you can see Danny the ambulance, which is Danny the street turned into the ambulance.
yes.
And
See, I gotta go back and watch. I forgot about Danny the Street.
Yeah, Danny. The. Oh my God, hey, guys! If you haven't
David
watched Doom
Tennant's,
Patrol,
son
go
is in
watch
this.
it.
Yeah, David Tennant's son is in this season. He plays the Gould brothers, which is like these two brothers who are ghosts and to do investigations on deadly, like they're like yeah, these ghost detectives basically.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You have
And
you have some stuff that you wanted to
Oh,
bring up.
yeah,
I know that.
We're gonna talk about sexual harassment.
All right, so I think I would like to talk about that.
All right, let's talk about it real quick, folks. Stay tuned. Remember that Chappelle episode about
trigger
R. Kelly?
warning. Trigger
Trigger
warning.
warning.
First.
Yeah,
Right.
Trigger warning.
I wanna piss on you, on your face, drip, 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 pee on you. You guys
Oh,
never saw
God.
the music
There
video?
it is. There it is, right there.
Yes, I've seen it. Yes.
Demonetized again.
Demonetized again. That's all right. Robert Kelly, aka R. Kelly, is in jail at the moment, but his trafficking trial begins in New York. All I want to say about this, did you guys see the whole surviving R. Kelly thing?
Yeah.
Yes, that was that was really rough to watch.
That was rough to watch, but like every other person's like, in 1991, I was there when R. Kelly did insert really effed up thing right now, and I'm like,
what?
Well,
how are you like? How
anything?
are you able to talk about this calmly?
Not only calmly, but like you knew this was going on for decades, and now you're coming out because while it was happening, R. Kelly was paying for you to go to expensive hotels. He was making you live like a really rich life, and you were okay with it.
It's
so
the same thing
with your outrage right now.
It's the same thing as the Michael Jackson thing. Like what he was doing was paying for everything. It's the same tactic and mental like abuse. I wouldn't say that they're like, I wouldn't call them bad people for coming out now and being calm about it, but it's interesting. It's very interesting.
But here's my thing. Like they kind of knew about it back then. Like this one lady tells a story about Aaliyah, and I didn't know about this. Like I know it now. But like I grew up listening to Aaliyah when she died. It was shocking. And it's like, dude, Aaliyah when she was 14, it's like no one decided to report this because they all were making money off of it.
And also, like the thing was,
label was there, like, dude, this guy's making us tens of millions of dollars. Shut up. Don't say anything.
Right.
He's making us a lot of money. It's not a big deal. Why? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people do this in Hollywood. I hate to say it. Hollywood music industry, the casting couch, it's very common. He just got caught. That's what I would say about that.
Yeah, he's the one that got caught, and you know what? People like this. I mean, how long do you think he's gonna go away for?
I don't know. I don't know if he might get away with it. You never know.
He's not gonna get away with it. He got away with it a couple times, but now rules are stricter, laws are stricter. There's more evidence. There's people actually coming out now, so he's not gonna get away with it.
We'll see,
people are taking this more serious than they were when it was actually happening.
But and this kind of happens the same week. Oh, everyone's leaving me. It's all by myself.
I'll be here.
Austin needs to go comb his hair. But like the same thing. Today we found out about Governor Cuomo. Last Thursday, I was going to incorrectly predict that I think he was going to be fine because this, Governor Cuomo, again, Andrew Cuomo, these allegations came down a while ago. They didn't just suddenly show up, and he kind of survived it. Ben said we're not going to get him today.
Listen, I will take you up on that, and I'll helpfully debate you on why he's not innocent.
It may be another.
If you'd like to do that,
with JIVIN Jack, we'll do a segment.
Yeah, I will.
We still have to do the OJ Simpson thing.
We still got to do the OJ one because Austin. Well, it's understandably Austin.
I think he's a disgusting human being.
Good movie, but so mental illness is an issue, guys. But like,
but thank you for the £2 super chat. I think, but I'll do it healthily with you, and I would love to hear your side of it and why you think that, because that's what we do, and I would still love you afterwards. So let's do it.
But my point is, Cuomo, this happened twice. The allegations came out, they kind of went away. And then,
can you explain
the movement? They weren't going away, and this dude was trying everything he could to stay in power. And eventually, even President Biden's like, "Dude, I think you need to resign." And
can you tell me exactly what is going on? I'm not really familiar with what is happening with Andrew Cuomo.
Part of it is he's been accused by a lot of women of inappropriate groping, touching,
me too.
Stuff that we don't need to get into. And this stuff came out earlier this year, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just like that with everyone. I'm a very handsy guy, blah, 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 blah." And the media, in some ways, kind of was like, "All right, let's move on," because they were trying to set him up as a very good governor in handling COVID. I'm sure Austin has some thoughts about that. And that's the dirty role the media played in that, because they were trying to juxtapose him with the previous president. That like, oh, this is how a real leader should act. The media kind of propped him up. So when these allegations came out, they were just like, oh crap, we can't like put this guy down because we were propping him up as like a real leader, you know, and someone who knows how to handle the pandemic. And the media honestly played a dirty role and kind of was like, all right, next story. Ooh, the Olympics, you know, and now it kind of came bubbling back up. So for the last couple of weeks, the allegations are coming out that, there's too many people coming out and everyone's calling him to retire. And finally today, because of our effort on Pop Culture Corner, hey, we talked about South Park, that got renewed. We talked about Governor Cuomo. We were going to talk about him and he resigned. I'm not saying we should take full credit, but look, there's another governor who got Governor Ralph Northam, who literally there's photos of him dressed up as a Klan member in the 80s in college and doing blackface. And he was just like, and the media was like, all right. Cool. And
look, I'm gonna say something. As a left, I'm a left liberal. I'll let everybody know that now. I don't care, right?
I'm not.
As somebody who's on the left, Andrew Cuomo's on the left. The left has purposely ignored his actions and stuff and tried to cut. Like I completely disagree with this. This man is not only like, as I guess we're now seeing, a freak and, creep and all that, but he's also a murderer. Like, when this whole COVID thing started, he's a murderer. He's a murderer. My mother works in a nursing home, okay? So she deals with these patients. Okay. She knows exactly what this is like. Like, what this guy did, he didn't just kill the patients that he sent over with COVID. He killed patients that didn't have COVID because, like, he really, like, I have a gripe against this guy, and I'm so freaking happy that he's finally resigning. I do wish it would have been months earlier, but
dirty role, because at the early onset of the virus, they were showing that they were kind of placing him against the former president. I don't want to say his name just because I'm tired of talking about this guy, but like, oh, this is a good leader. Look how well he's leading New York, and look how the former president's doing. He doesn't know how to handle it. And because they created that narrative, all of a sudden when these allegations came out, not only about how he mishandled the nursing homes and then covered it up, the media was just like, no, we're not going to talk about that. But I think the allegations, especially in the era of Me Too, you can't just sweep this under the rug and just let it go. And unfortunately, the media plays a very dirty role. When they want to prop up someone, they prop them up. When they want to take down someone, they take them down. And then facts and figures and truth, unfortunately, becomes irrelevant.
That's I
know exactly what Austin's talking about with the whole nursing home situation, because
and he was given a lot of money, a lot of ventilators. He was given
the same thing happening. What's happening in California?
He never used them.
Like the same thing was happening in California. Like it wasn't just like it wasn't just like it was like Gavin. Like although like like the whole recall with Gavin Newsom, I do not support, because of we become a red state if we recall him, and that whole thing. I do not support the recall. But if it was, if there was a Democrat or another person that I would support, but no. But Gavin Newsom, same thing here. Nursing homes, you would have an old, an elderly who had COVID, who can't support themselves, and then their neighbor will call 911 and they'll take them to a nursing home, and that was their safe place. Right, but it wasn't safe for the people that were there already.
I'm going off my mother, who's not only works in a nursing home, but is HR with the nursing home. So she deals with the other nursing homes across the country that are in her branch.
Yeah.
As well as the hundreds, there's a lot of people in the primary, maybe not hundreds, that's maybe an exaggeration. But there are quite a few people that came, nurses, and
nurses came out and said,
who work at these nursing homes and were very clear about what happened, that nursing homes were literally holding bodies.
Yeah, there was the things were like, it was also like morgues can't hold these bodies, so where did they put them? Nursing homes, because they had a morgue in like there was a big nursing home in LA.
Not to mention they didn't care about contamination at that point.
Yeah, it has a morgue right next door, and they share a if you the nursing home.
Real quick, because the social media and the press have actually not been covering this well.
No, they haven't been covering this.
They haven't. They barely covered.
We're not making this up. It's not like Alex Jones came out and said like,
no.
"Oh, let me tell you what I heard."
Yeah.
The water's making the frogs drown.
This is just underreported, not reported, but underreported. Unfortunately, because there was
I hate to say it though, like I feel bad because I don't like I didn't know about
right.
I didn't know any
of
this.
This is stuff that like nursing homes are like
we came up
the
with this
things that nursing home issue happened all over more or less, not just New York. Yeah. We're not saying it just happened in New York.
Unfortunately, everything becomes
I know. But New York, let me tell you, New York had the most. Yeah, had the most deaths out of the nursing homes. They had the most. Like you can look all the numbers up.
And unfortunately, another thing that's kind of been this has nothing to do with it, but a lot of people are leaving California and they're heading to Florida. They're heading to Texas, where which are red states. I mean, when everyone likes to think they're all toothless hillbillies there. No, they have just better tax systems and they have more open. They're like not too crazy about the lockdowns. So then the media is like, oh crap, if we attack Cuomo, that means we're propping up DeSantis. It's like, no, can we just tell the truth? Let's call out DeSantis and call out Cuomo when they're doing bad things. Call them out, no matter
exactly. No matter if they're on the right, the left. I know Benson. You brought up Trump earlier. Yeah, he didn't do a great job with this pandemic either. I have a lot of gripes with him as well. But again, it's just like Jack said. I feel like as me personally, I'm on the left. I'm pretty sickened by how the left hasn't discussed it. And it feels like as somebody on the left, we're always attacking the other side. We're never looking at ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sad.
I just want to say one thing real quick. I made a little. I made our names and stuff. Caden, I forgot your name.
I saw Caden read, and I just said his name.
Yeah, it says name. Caden, it's not supposed to say Caden. I can't go back and make another one. They take way too long to make. I've been making it for like the last 30 minutes because it takes so long to do.
Not pictured. Well, might as well. There's no face there. It's
just his social media tag's there, and that's his actual name. So I'm very sorry. That was a mistake on my part. I love you. But sorry.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any of this.
Cover politics, but like this is too big a thing, and like a lot of you guys say, like, "Oh, we don't know about this," because the media has underreported. It's not like we're making this up or like But now to Benson's point about Cuomo, like, have we read the actual legal transcripts and stuff like that? Look, it's not like they're saying Cuomo went all the way, for lack of a better word, but he did a lot of inappropriate stuff. It's okay. I am always saying that evidence is necessary, but when enough people have come out. It's not just one or two people. It's a lot of people. It's a pattern of behavior over decades in the world. I asked a question as the press in the UK claim we've had the highest number of deaths in care homes in the world. I don't trust the press guys. I also don't think it's fair Cuomo's accusations remain anonymous. If it does go to a court of law, it wouldn't be anonymous, and then I think the names would have to come forward. And yeah, you should be able to face your accuser. I believe in that. But
yes, you should.
Yeah.
You should.
Like, what if I said, someone accused one of you guys, and I'm like, well,
we do live in a country where you are innocent until maybe not.
Yes.
There are some cases where you're actually deemed guilty before you're
and look,
innocent. Domestic abuse is the one where you'll get a 90-day hold, a 90-day safety hold to make sure you're not a danger, right?
Right.
That's like really the only case that you're guilty before innocent. But in this case, he is innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, so to face your accuser, I would agree with you, Jack. Yeah. So these are weird things, but they're things that need to be talked about.
Yeah, if someone says someone's like one of you guys killed someone, I'm like, well, I just take your word for it.
And right.
And then be like, oh, is this person? Well, yeah, of course that person made it up. Here's why. He should have his game. I don't think
there needs to be proof. There certainly needs to be some sort of proof or something, evidence to back it up or whatever. I don't think that, and I think until the verdict, I think that person should have the right to keep that anonymous, to be anonymous.
Look,
because if that verdict comes back and they say, yeah, it is true, then, or It's a tough thing, because especially with all this.
Look, I said this. I got crap for this when I said it about Brett Kavanaugh because he was a Trump justice. I said, let's hear the evidence, and then the story changed a couple of times. It could have been manufactured. I don't know, but I always say wait for the evidence. But in the case of Cuomo, it's too many people making accusations. If he is innocent, then he would not have resigned. I think he would have.
Honestly, I'm with this, Benson. Even with the celebrity stuff, it should all be anonymous until verdicts are said or done. Because you're right, the media gets involved.
If it is anonymous, it might get covered up. That's the other thing. If they keep it quiet, that's a good way. That's true. That's what the abuser wants. Like, let's keep this anonymous. That way we don't,
That is true. I mean, look, I've been saying it for years. Our justice system needs to be completely rehauled. Our justice system is so incredibly messed up. So yeah, I do see your point. You're right. It can be easy to but at the same time too,
especially as a public servant, do the people have a right to know? Like, hey, we love such and such, and now all this stuff is coming out about him and her. And resident justice, I want to say this. It's a very touchy subject, and difficult subject. Agreed. It's really sad to see people in position of power abuse others. I would say that this is more common than you think it is. Even you go throughout history, just take American history, not even world history. A lot of great men and women of power who accomplished great things were kind of sleazebags. When you're in a position of power, you automatically kind of get what you want. Whether it's Kennedy, whether it's King, they were great people, but unfortunately they have these, and I'm not saying they did what Cuomo did, but you'll find that they were not perfect. They did, use their power to solicit others. Try to keep it, politically correct here. But like that's throughout history. I mean, everyone. Eisenhower, great president, had a mistress who lived in the White House with him. I mean, granted, that's not what Cuomo did, but like the guy had a mistress. It was like, hey, I'm rich, I'm powerful. I'm like the most famous general in America at the moment, and I'm president. I'll have my mistress live with me. And again, he was a great president. Kennedy used to have women at the airport when he left and women waiting for him when he landed somewhere.
The Bill Clinton thing with Monica Lewinsky. Like, yeah, like it happens all. It happens.
You gotta think about the economy. He was a great president.
Oh,
did a great job.
Great president, man.
Did you know they're doing the American Crime Story?
Stuff that Hillary would never do. Have you ever seen Hillary?
Yeah.
Impersonation. Sorry.
No, and go
again. Good president, Bill Clinton. Total sleazebag. Good president.
Right.
On certain things.
And then you look over at guys like Bill Cosby. And you're like, how is this real? Like, it's really crazy.
He's back home now.
It blows my mind.
Half a mile away. Yeah.
Blows my mind how he is out of prison right now. And honestly, they could use that like same tactic to get what's his name out, Weinstein. Because they tried him on character.
Weinstein got accused. He's walking around with like a crutch or whatever.
Yeah, like they tried him on character more than the cases, so they could use that
they
same.
Get away. R. Kelly might get away with it. Cuomo might become senator in 5 years.
Right,
like they'll kind of go under the rug and they'll be like,
crazy. It's an absolute. Why do you have my face on your thing?
I didn't even.
It did that. I don't know why it did that. It's now because you're all signed in the same account, so it's the same profile. I was like, what the heck? Why am I Ty? Guys, now I'm Ty.
I'm sorry.
It's weird. I'm right next to myself in like the same position.
It looks Guys, this is how the Flash is gonna be. It's gonna be exactly like this.
Jack is Keaton's Batman, and Austin is Affleck. While I'm the real Ty, and then
Caden's the real Ty.
Yeah, you can go hit the three buttons and change the avatar. If you go to if you go to your bottom thing and there's the three things, go edit audio.
I think Caden, where it says his name, it should say not pictured.
That was funny though.
Not pictured.
That was funny.
I was like, why am I Ty?
Into the bill,
into the Ty verse.
Into the Ty verse.
Oh man.
I got one more topic to talk about since we're talking legal stuff. before we end the show. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
I was waiting for Caden to hit the transition. Like,
Oh, I thought you were gonna hit it.
at the same time.
You guys
I
will
was
be
like about to hit it,
coordinated.
and I was
I
just
love
like,
it.
wait.
I love the
Great
coordination
minds, man.
here.
Great minds.
All right. So, speaking of legal stuff, our girl Britney Spears had a denial in court, but it's not too bad. Nah, forget about the Catholic thing. The other one. The judge denied to move her conservatorship from September. So people might freak out at first. Basically, it's scheduled for sometime September. She asked it to move to August, and the judge said no. The idea is she's trying to get this over as quick as she can. I think she knows the momentum's on her side. The media's with her. Now, obviously, that's not how a judge should work, based on what the media and the fans want. But I think there's a very good case. She will, come September, have her own life back.
I hope so. I really hope so, man.
You never know. You never know. The judge might be like, no. Like, maybe there are
Dude, I feel like that judge would get canceled if he did that. And that would be a cancel I'd be okay with.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really, it's gone on far too long.
12, 13 years.
Getting ridiculous.
Imagine not being one of the richest, most famous pop stars and never owning the money.
The father had the nerve, I think this weekend or a couple of days ago, to come out and say that she is not mentally well and that she needs to, they need to double
don't make
down.
money off her albums. If she's not mentally
well, there's
she should not be doing
I saw her
live
recent. Yeah, I saw one of her recent posts where she was posting up the Free Britney flag, and she was happy about that people are buying the Free Britney flag, and she's and also I see Victoria Justice, and Paul Butcher, people who have been on shows with her sister who are not supporting her sister but supporting her, and and it's like,
and all of a sudden Jamie Lynn Spears came out this week and tried to get the controversy off her, and she made she put a post on her Instagram, which it's maybe a little harsh, but I don't know.
I'm not saying she had a bit of a meltdown back in 08, 07, but
but Jamie Lynn Spears made a post this weekend, right, with her daughter, her youngest daughter. I guess Jamie Lynn was crying, and her youngest daughter goes, "It's gonna be okay, mommy. Everything's gonna be okay. It has to be okay." And so she was kind of saying that because people have been, bashing her on social media because of
gang mentality.
Right.
And you know what?
Another thing is that she was just looking at her recent posts, she's boasting about how her body can do things and stuff like that. Like Jamie Lynn is doing that, and it's why are you doing this? You're I can breastfeed, I can give birth to, she's I can give birth, I can breastfeed, I can run, I can do.
I'll just be honest. I'm very unsympathetic towards whatever she has to say compared to her sister.
Yeah. Because
she's been quiet all these years, and she's supported her. She hasn't been supporting Britney, obviously. Yeah. So,
and look, to play devil's advocate again, I'll say I have no doubt she went through something 07, 08, 09. We talked about on this show many times, but she's still done how many albums since then? How many live shows, TV appearances?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
And, the thing that Zoe 101 is that
radio in her head to control her. What do you mean she's not mentally fit? Give me a break,
Right, and also the whole Zoe 101 situation with Jamie and her dad and Dan Schneider, and that whole bundle of stuff is so weird and just. Not okay as well.
Yeah, I asked. I mean, how do you guys feel about this? How do you feel? Do you guys actually think that she'll win this thing? Because I think it's far. Like you guys said, I think it's. How many years has this been going on?
Since 2008, I think so.
2008, late 2007, early 2008.
Yeah.
And you bring up a good point about. I mean, yes, she did have a meltdown, and maybe at that time she needed that, but now this is becoming something else. It's becoming almost slavery.
Way older now. I mean, she's most of her late 20s and early in all of her 30s. She's been living like this, and she's one of the most
famous people in the world. And she can't even.
We have seen what happened.
Did you just
this happened
watching?
With Elvis, he had people controlling his life, like the Colonel. Look up the Colonel and Elvis.
Right.
Look at Michael
and just
Jackson
watching her.
Yes.
Yeah, with her, her and Justin Timberlake when they're younger kids working on the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse show, watching her, she has a beautiful non-studio voice. Like, you know, like, and we've heard it like twice.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And look, last but not least, this doesn't mean anything to you, but it does to me. She's become a Catholic. I mean, I'm just saying. There were clues early on in the Catholic schoolgirl outfit, and she says, "I must confess." I'm not saying that it was a prophecy, but
what does this mean?
Confession is a Catholic thing.
No, I know, but why? Like, why is that such a big deal?
Oh, I don't know. I was just bringing that up.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
you're making it a deal. Okay, all right.
Run, Britney, run!
What was she before?
The bishop's gonna come after me. She was Baptist, I think. I'm guessing she may have mentioned saying, you know, that I guess this has helped her through that time. I know me and Austin are both Christian. Like, yeah, prayer can help you. I guess maybe it's kept her more grounded. I know I say my rosary, it helps me. And
remember, Justice used to wear it as a necklace.
Yeah,
Right.
But now she's actually using it like a justice.
Right.
Yeah, justice appropriating my religion. But I think it's good for her. But I think she had to delete the post. I don't know if people like attacked her, but like she had to delete the post. Like, dude, like if she's finding religion, whether it's Catholicism, Hinduism, I don't care.
Anything.
If you're finding something that's helping you through tough times, religion, not religion, a poem, a book, the Snyder Cut, whatever.
Yeah,
let it help you.
Let it help you, exactly. And she, what? Like the world we live in is becoming such a weird place.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. And to have anyone, and even if it wasn't Britney Spears, even if it was just Christina down the road, no one should be going through what she's going through right now.
Exactly.
Because we live in a world, like we live in a time where you shouldn't be held basically captive.
Kind of like slavery. Yeah.
Yeah. I brought that up. I said
it goes back to, like, you know, if you look at the old days of Hollywood, and it probably still happens, they would have these starlets, these young women, and they would work them to death. And then they hit 30 something. Like, you're not used to us anymore. Get out.
Yeah.
We're going to get another 19-year-old to play, you know, a 20-year-old, 25-year-old and do that. And that has been common. And look, you know, Beyonce is the exception. Like, those women who have made it, they're the exception. She has been treated horribly. She has a right to her own autonomy. The whole thing with the birth control thing they have in there, without getting the details, that to me that's horrible. Like, you can't have that removed from your body in America in 2021. What kind of society are we? Yet you're still making money off her. Okay, if she was mentally ill, if you were her father, you would say, okay, I don't want her performing. I don't want her singing songs. Her mental health is important. No, she's been making albums. She's been singing. She's been dancing. She's a marionette for you, making millions of dollars so you don't have to work.
Yep. So to be clear, her money goes to the dad.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And the dad's lawyer. I'm sorry, her lawyer, but now she has her own lawyer.
Right. Wow. All right. Well,
yeah, it's you know,
as we said, we're going to keep talking about it because it needs to be.
It needs to be talked about, because if this is happening to someone rich, what happens when it happens to probably is happening to someone who isn't rich, someone who's probably being treated like this, you know,
for real.
Talk about second-class citizens. And yeah, again, the media is kind of reporting on it,
but not the way they should be, right?
Not the way they should be.
Not at all.
It should be talked about, and that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Hashtag free Britney. No one should be treated like that. Milton. And you know,
is that Milton?
God, get his face out of it.
I thought your name was Milton.
You know what? The last weekend, seeing how toxic some of the fans have been, I'm starting to see what this dude was talking about.
This is the real Milton.
Right. Yeah.
Well, just because there are actual, unfortunately, rare cases where someone cannot be.
They're a danger to themselves and society.
Yes.
That's what deems a conservatorship to exist. Yeah. Because there are people that are dangers to themselves and to society. They need to be that. This is not that case, though. And anybody with a clear mind looking at it can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I find this absolutely absurd. Because, like, if you look at it from a third, like, if you stand back and look into it, you're like, what the hell? Why is this happening?
Yeah. Seems pretty obvious.
It seems pretty obvious to, like, So, I think the people that are holding her hostage need to be held hostage.
Yeah.
Because they're dangerous to society because they're the ones promoting this shit. Yep. It's terrible.
Unfortunately, you'll see a lot of times with a lot of these child stars or teen stars, their parents are like some of the worst human beings in the world.
They
like
force them because they're ashamed of their lives, so they make their kids do this stuff so that they can.
Michael Jackson.
The same thing happened with Macaulay Culkin for the first 2 years of his acting career. Right. His dad would take the paycheck. He wouldn't even
Shia LaBeouf.
For Home Alone, Home Alone 2. That one movie he did where he was like played this. He didn't get any money from those until he
I said this right to Brandon Spink too, who was a child actor. I said I don't believe that anyone should be pretending to be someone they're not until they can understand who they are. And this guy goes back to a little bit other something. Babies that like any child like that under 3 is in these things simply for the parents to get money out of it. Whether what they do with that money is a different story. It's just there's no way that this little kid is consenting to doing this. They're being pushed into it by their parents. There's no way around it.
Or at least give the kid some protection,
put it into a college fund. If they're doing that, I can understand that. But most of these parents aren't.
Child actors, but make sure the parents have to think of the child's welfare first. And you know what? Britney Spears was 17. She's kind of a child. Even if you're 18, 19, in this current zeitgeist, you're basically still a kid. Even if you're like 19, 20, your brain is still developing. You're not in a place. I'm not saying that 20-year-old your parent, but parents need to become parents again and stop being your kids' friends.
Yes.
And stop trying to do what makes them cool and do that, Anyway, guys, we have a watch party starting soon for the Suicide Squad. If you haven't seen it in theaters, if you don't have HBO Max, we are going to get working on that now. Ty, it's going to be around 8 o'clock tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah,
the event will be starting at 8 p.m. on Twitch. So you can head over, follow us on twitch.tv/popculturecorner. Follow the show. And we're going to be hosting the watch party exclusively on Twitch. And then we'll jump on YouTube and we'll have a spoiler discussion about the good, the great, and the even better.
Yeah, and look, folks, if you're critical, still watch it and then put out your criticism. Say, hey, I didn't like this. I didn't like that.
Let's have a talk about it.
We're not trying to put a kibosh on any dissenters. We're just arguing with people who already made up their mind they're not going to like it before they saw it.
Yeah. So we'll watch it. We'll have a healthy discussion about it after, and then we'll kind of move on from it and look forward to the next thing.
Yeah.
Great show today, guys. I really had a good time.
Do you want to do a rundown of the news, go
over? Yeah, right. We talked about the Suicide Squad. We talked about Andrew Cuomo and the nursing home pandemic. We talked about the conservatorship. We talked about R. Kelly. We talked about all these great topics, and there's also news going on outside of this. We have the Shang-Chi runtime is 2 hours and 12 minutes. We have Idris Elba playing Knuckles in the Sonic 2. And we have What If premiering tonight. We have Stargirl premiering tonight. We have Titans Thursday. So yeah, that was a little rundown. A little rundown.
We talked Doom Patrol. We talked Air Cut. We talked.
Idris Elba, man.
Yeah.
So Idris is playing Knuckles.
Yep.
Yeah, he's voicing Knuckles.
That's amazing. That's a good cast.
Yeah.
Good casting choice. Man, that's a lot. We got a lot to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen.
And tomorrow night is a panel, right? Or something?
Yes, tomorrow night will be a panel.
Tomorrow night's panel, and then Thursday.
Here.
We're back here with Jack every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:30. Whatever hot topic that we're not supposed to talk about, we will talk about it. And then anything coming up on Friday, Saturday? I know we have the podcast every Saturday.
This Saturday, Stephen Colbert from Screen Rant will be joining me for the podcast as we continue our. So basically, what I'm doing right now is I would like to Joe Rogan it and have someone on the podcast, someone new on the podcast every single Saturday. That way to give the variety. And talk to one person specifically. In a couple weeks, I'll be talking to the cast and crew of a new Adult Swim show. Not allowed to say the name of it yet, But you know, it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be like, you ever seen Brandon Davis interview the whole cast and crew of something?
That'll be cool.
That's basically what
Yes.
I'm doing. So
Yes.
yeah, it's gonna be really
We're glad
fun.
you found us too. Hi, by the way.
Yes, we're
Yeah,
here.
hi-
Make sure
hi-
to
Hi.
share it.
Hi is a great viewer. Benson's a great new viewer. RJ, you guys are all integrity. I just saw you
Are
there.
they new from like the last couple of days?
They're
Yes.
they're,
Oh,
they're
so this is
from
the first time
Jarbo.
watching Jivin with Jack.
They're
Oh,
fresh.
welcome.
They're
They're-
new.
Welcome to the dark
I've-
corner of pop
I
culture.
converted them from Jarbo.
Oh,
I
Jarbo,
converted
yes.
them.
Yeah. So
Yeah, there we go. Welcome here, folks. We are always here. We have so much stuff every day. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we have a 3-tier system. Do we have a different name for that bottom tier yet, or no?
Flossing with Austin, baby.
Flossing with Austin. Okay,
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
Okay, flossing
I
with Austin.
enacted that a long time, except I
Oh,
didn't hit. I didn't.
been
No, I
calling-
didn't hit
know.
allow. I didn't hit the actual button
Oh.
to change it. So it was
okay.
like it was like in a it was a box that was like a preview, but I never
Okay.
hit apply. And so it stayed as the big drip, even though he's ghosted us and
Yeah,
is
Right.
a total tool.
maybe he's one of these new people. We don't know. Maybe he's
Yeah.
one.
Maybe he's
high.
high.
I just
Hi.
Hi.
That's
What up? Drip.
Hey Drip,
Gang signs.
good to see you again, buddy.
Gang
There
signs.
we go.
All right,
All right.
man, take us out, baby.
All right, folks. Remember, we do it for you, and we do it for the culture. Kevin, get in here!